everyone. It's episode 204, recorded on Sunday, May 19th, 2024. I'm John, and hey, Drew. Bill worked in a pickle factory. He had been employed there for a number of years when he came home one day to confess to his wife that he had a terrible compulsion. He had an urge to stick his penis in the pickle slicer. His wife suggested that he should see a therapist to talk about it, but Bill indicated that he'd be too embarrassed. He vowed to overcome the compulsion on his own. One day, a few weeks later, Bill came home absolutely ashen. His wife could see at once that something was seriously wrong. "What's wrong, Bill?" she asked. "Do you remember that I told you how I had this tremendous urge to put my penis in the pickle slicer?" "Oh, Bill, you didn't." Yes, I did." "My God, Bill, what happened?" "I got fired." "No, Bill, I mean, what happened with the pickle slicer?" "Oh, she got fired too."
What is up, everyone? We are back after 3 weeks off, and on tonight's episode, we have been playing a lot of games, and we're going to talk about you and catch them up. Finally, we're going to talk Nintendo, because they had their big announcements with numbers, and Switch 2, and Direct. John's laughing. And last week, we discussed some Nintendo indies getting the mobile treatment. What does it mean? We're going to tell you. John, buddy, we're rusty. I'm rusty. You're not. I'm rusty. You had a great opening joke about tits and pickles and banging people, and I can't even read the shit in front of me. How you been?
This is the better version of the two that we did.
This is the better version of the two, believe it or not.
I am good. Cedric was away for like 2.5 weeks, so that was really crazy, but he came back a couple of days ago.
Your kid just disappears and you
went to Minnesota, right along the border of Canada.
Okay.
And they do like it is like super outdoorsy, and it's like a rafting trip.
Sounds
and
not
for
my
like
cup of tea.
Yeah, oh, totally. And then for like 3 or 4 days, they canoe down.
Sure.
This cold water, just like, and then they camp along the way. Like they don't come back. They go all the way, and then they do like this 1 or 2 day. He did for 2 days. They're just alone for 2 days. They have to like go find a spot. It was actually a little bit different than
counselor or anything.
Even the teachers were all alone. Everybody's alone.
Sure.
They have some ways to communicate in case of emergency. Probably like screaming.
You mean like individually alone, like
individually,
no groups? Like maybe you're close in vicinity, but like you're on your own.
Yeah, exactly. When I had it described to me at first, it was like, oh, they're kind of around a lake. They're on their own, but they can kind of, some of them can see each other across the lake.
Yeah,
that's not what this was. They actually spent a day and like scoped out an area where they might want to be alone. Maybe they'd find a cave. Maybe they would find an area of trees, but somewhere far away. And they would like hike around and look, and then they would come back, and then they went to their places and just stayed for like a couple days.
I'd be dead.
2 nights.
I would be, and like all these kids, I mean young adults, found their way back somehow. Like nobody went missing. Nobody got raped. Like they're just gone. Like,
yes,
I'd be dead.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: Is he like this type of stuff, or is he more just he likes the group environments and hanging out with people, or he legit likes the outdoorsy type environment?
Yeah, he does. He actually does. A lot of the kids on these trips, they just take the trips. They're not necessarily outdoorsy, but he likes it. His big heavy backpacks and all that stuff. I definitely not.
God
for
bless
me.
him. Not
Definitely.
for me.
And
either,
there was tons of ticks. Like it was known before the trip, and they were like trained on handling tick emergencies. And yeah, there was like lots of ticks.
Did he come home with
be really careful? No, but yeah, they had to be really careful about it. And I don't know. I couldn't do it for sure. And now he's home.
He just slept under the stars? Did he have a tent too?
He had a tent, and yeah, he actually, one night they were in an area and there were ticks, and so he actually slept on a bench, like a where you would eat.
Yeah.
And he slept on a bench because apparently sleeping on the hard wood is better than sleeping on the ground where the ticks are.
Incredible. I mean, God
I
bless
know.
him. More, yeah, more balls than
It
I have. I mean,
it's no, I couldn't do it in a million
I don't
years.
think I'd want to like have a tent in my backyard. Never mind,
Yeah,
just on your
yeah.
own in the middle of nowhere.
And he told the whole story, and when he was done, I was like, "Oh, would you do it again?" Like I said as a joke, and he said,
Yeah, yeah.
"Yeah." He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh."
Expect them to be like, nah, I wasn't like.
I think I sort of got the it's kind of like when I play a game sometimes I start focusing on the little nitpick things that annoyed
Mhm.
me, and I forget to say all the things that I enjoyed.
Sure.
And that's kind of like his story was about the ticks and the cold and the bad hotel they had to stay in because of the storm. But he
Yep.
wasn't like telling me how much fun rafting was and all that stuff. So he was
Yeah.
like,
So
yeah,
he
he would
like
do it.
he'll put up with those things for the other parts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, good for him. That's
And
awesome.
then my other story, which happened last night. So my wife and I folded our clothes yesterday about 2:30.
Okay.
And then soon after she left, she went somewhere and she was gone for a long time. She comes back at about 7:30 and she hears meowing. My cat
Oh no.
and Joni loves to go in my closet when the closet door is open. And sometimes I've closed her in the closet.
Listen, I've done it to the Goomba. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah. Joni was in my closet for 5 hours.
Oh my god.
And this has happened before. And every time I realize it, I'm like, oh my God, I hope Joni didn't take a shit in my closet.
That's the first thing I would think of.
It has never happened until yesterday.
No.
She
On the new clothes?
she took a she peed and took a shit on my sock basket.
Oh,
So
I would have
and
just
then
picked it up and threw it away.
and then my wife had been was in there, and then I looked in and I was like, why did you throw my socks on the ground? She goes, I didn't. Joni
Oh,
knocked the socks on the ground, but there was like shit in the socks. And I just threw all my socks in the wash.
that's.
I'm not fucking buying new socks because my cat took a shit in it.
I would have.
I think they're fine, but if I have to replace them all, I have a
Did
bunch of
you, like,
Nintendo socks. My dad's After Dark socks. Like,
that's a good point. It's not
yeah,
like they're just all white socks. You're right. There's.
right. Well, the only ones I care about really the white socks. I'll wear my dad's After Dark socks and my Deadpool socks from time to time, but I
Yeah,
generally
those
just throw
aren't
away
a daily
ones.
or weekly thing. I agree. Yeah,
Right.
depends on
But
the weather.
yeah, the streak is over, and like I had a fan in there trying to blow it out.
Did it
It
smell
just
awful?
it smelled like, oh my god, it was awful. And then I did some spray, so now it smells like apple pumpkin in my closet.
So I mean, I got to assume like you put your clothes in the room, you shut the door, like you probably left the room, like
Yeah, I was downstairs the whole time. I tend to hang around the house downstairs.
yeah, of course you're not hanging
And
out
my
in your
wife is
bedroom.
usually hanging around upstairs, but she just wasn't home, so nobody heard.
So definitely
Joni.
like meowing, scratching at the door, just
Mhm.
no one
Mhm.
there to help the poor kitty.
Yep. Yeah, so that sucked.
So that sucked. I said that more than sucks.
That freaking blew. How about you?
Listen, I mean, I got no cat shitting in my socks story, but
Well, you have Goomba farting on your pillow. That's bad enough.
yeah. So speaking of that, right? So last weekend we didn't record. I'm gonna take the hit. John was a trooper, not his fault, my problem. I went away to Myrtle Beach. This was a guy's trip I had planned for. Quite
we're
some time.
aware of your guys' trip on during Mother's Day weekend. Yes.
That's right. That's right. We talked about it. No, but so I left on a Wednesday, but I woke up Monday morning with fucking pink eye. Remember, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I still believe, because typically, it's a kid thing, right? And then usually you get it from your kids. I mean, I don't think I had pink eye maybe my entire life. It fucking blows, first of all. And second of all, I think I got it. I have a sneaky suspicion that Goomba like farted on my pillow or something. I don't know. That's just my theory. Because I don't know how else
So
to do
I
it.
just Googled it.
Okay.
Can you get pink eye from dog farts? And it says, contrary to popular belief, you cannot get pink eye from farting. Pink eye is typically caused by bacterial, viral. So it doesn't say specifically from a dog fart.
But maybe he did a little fart and a little stuff came out though.
Yeah, I mean, totally. You might be the first human to ever get.
You're right.
Fart to eye diseases.
I just don't know how else I would have gotten it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't do anything else. I mean, unless it was yard work. Like, but I can't imagine that would be the reason.
Yeah, I don't even know how you catch pink eye.
Me either. Like, where does it come
do
from?
you-
How does it start?
It has to come from somebody who has pink eye?
I don't know anybody that
It
has,
just says bacteria, so.
but I mean, paint dry blows as an adult. I mean, your eyes are just crusted shut. It's disgusting. Anyways,
Ugh.
moving on. Myrtle Beach. I was nervous about it because I had paint dry, but I did the antibiotics like Monday morning at 9 a.m. and I was good to go. But yeah, we played. So we were there for 3 nights. So 4 days. 4 days, John, we played 18 holes, 36 holes, 18 holes, 18 holes. We played 90 holes of golf in 4 days. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had the time of our life. Meanwhile, we're drinking 10 to 12 beers a day. Well, I was. They drink like too much shit for me. They'll drink vodka and gin. I'm just give me like 12 light beers over the 10 hours and I'll survive.
You take it easy. You're just like, just give me 12 beers.
Just give me 12 beers and I'll survive.
Wait, what the fuck are they drinking?
They were drinking
2 6-packs is lightweight.
Yeah. Well, I mean it probably equals out, but they're drinking like soda water and like vodka or pineapple vodka. It's just like I start mixing all that fruity shit. I said, let me just stick to the program. 12 light beers over 10 hours a day. I'll be okay. And we had a blast. I mean, we literally just golfed, drank, and ate. That was pretty much what we did for 4 straight days. It was the cool part too is I've been watching a ton of sports lately because it's playoffs, right? So I was watching the Bruins and Celtics. Every night we were there, it was either a Bruins game or a Celtics game. So every time we went out, we had something to watch. And I mean, the good part too is like no one got blackout drunk, which is always a win. And we're all older, 40s. Well, I mean, turning 40. So we're all about between. Well, I was the youngest, right? But so I mean, we were back at the room every night by like 11 o'clock because we had early tea times. You know what I'm saying? And we were all up at 6 a.m. again. So it was a great time. We had an absolute blast.
Nice.
The other thing I want to say really quick, I've been watching the Fallout show on Amazon Prime. I've watched 3 episodes so far. Have you watched it?
I do want to watch it. Yeah. In fact, maybe I might even start it tonight.
So let me say this. I really don't know anything about Fallout, and I said I'm going to watch it. I fucking love it, John. Like, love it. It's so good. I watched the first episode on the plane coming back from Myrtle Beach, and I liked it so much. I said, you know what? I think Amy's going to like this. So I watched it again with her, and she started getting into it, and we watched the first 3 episodes. It's awesome. Love it. I kind of want to play.
Is it gory? Like, I heard it's like, it can get pretty
certain parts. Yeah, certain parts, but not like the boys gory.
Okay. All
not right. That gory. It's just the show.
Because I think Michelle wants to watch it too, but I'm like, but she watches The Boys.
If she watches The Boys, she can definitely handle this.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she liked this better than The Boys because I think The Boys is more that. This is more of a story, I guess you could say.
How many episodes is it?
I want to say 6, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's fantastic. Love it.
Okay, cool.
So, all right. I think that's we'll leave it at that. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Let's start off with what's coming up in the next couple weeks, John.
We have, I guess, one big game and then a bunch of little indie titles, small games, whatever you want to call them.
Sure.
On May 23rd, in fact, all of these games come out May 23rd. Wow, that could be problematic. That's Thursday, right?
It is a Thursday.
Duck Detective: The Secret Salami, which was in the last Indie World.
Great sub name, though, by the way.
Bread and Fred, which
what's this one?
It wasn't in the Indie World, but it is a co-op, kind of like probably a you and Amy game. It's a co-op game. Supposed to be really good. It's been on Steam. It's supposed to be really good. And that one coming out May 23rd as well. World of Goo 2, which I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I loved World of Goo, but I just don't care.
I remember this game. It kind of has the 2 penguins. Kind of looks like Celeste, like graphic-wise and side-scrolling wise. Obviously not that great. But yeah, 2 little penguins. Kind of like Ice Climber vibe.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating seeing if Michelle wants to play.
Interesting. Sorry. Okay.
And then Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door comes out.
Did you decide if you're picking it up?
Best Buy is doing a promotion right now for members, which is like if you pay $200 for gaming stuff, you get $50 gift card.
Wow.
And I
Pretty good.
actually, yeah, I'm like about $60 of the way there, and I was like, should I buy Paper Mario? Because I wasn't planning on it. And I asked Michelle if she wanted to play it, and she
Oh my
said
god,
no. So I'm
Michelle
like,
would love this game.
she, I don't know. She doesn't like turn-based combat for some
That's
reason.
the only thing that maybe she wouldn't, but I think she could see through it with
Yeah,
because of this. And this is as basic turn-based combat as you get. I will say that there's no like super gimmick like some of the other Paper Mario's had with the wheel or cards. It's
right,
it's just a straight up. This is how much damage you're doing for. This is how much health they have. Like it's pretty basic.
right. Yep. And I've always actually bought all the Nintendo published games anyway. Like there's very few that I don't want to play.
Yep.
But I don't know if this time around I'm like,
It's Mario.
am I really going to spend, what is it, 60?
Yeah.
60?
Yeah. Yep.
Am I really going to spend 60 on a game that I wasn't going to buy so I can get a gift card for 50? Like, I don't think that's really
Just-
smart.
You lose $10 out of the deal.
Yeah. So I don't know. If there's like maybe another game I definitely want to buy.
You've never
then
played this one?
I've played Paper Mario.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
played Thousand Year Door.
I did, but a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay. As long as you've played it at some point in your life, I won't be as hard on you. And then
No, and it's really good. I'm not really, I don't love some of these longer RPGs. I don't know what it is.
yeah, I mean, it's probably 20-ish, 20 something hours. I can't imagine it's much more than that.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. I maybe I'll get the bug, but I don't think so.
All right.
I'm not sure what I will be playing later this week, but yeah, we'll see. Or maybe I'll change my mind and play it. Who knows?
Hmm.
All right. Let's talk about what we've been playing.
Let's do it. We have a lot.
There's a lot. Oh gosh, how do we?
Let's go back and forth. I think that
Okay.
will break things up so we don't, or I don't zone out.
Okay. So I finished up Unicorn Overlord.
Ooh, I'm interested to see your final thoughts.
That took me 65 hours.
That's just too long for that type of game, is it not?
That is nuts. I did not think it would be 65 hours long. I enjoyed it. I did not play. I'm not going to go through this game because I think I've explained it before, but I did not play it the way other people are playing it,
Okay.
where you micromanage all your characters. So you can have, I believe, 8 teams of up to 5 people. So by the end of the game, and you are getting closer to the end of the game before you fully upgrade all your squads. You
Mhm.
start off with 1 per squad, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. By the time you get to the end, you have 40 characters you are micromanaging. And I'm just not into that sort of deal.
Yep.
So what I would do is I would go to each character and I would hit the plus button and it would optimize that character. Optimize for what? I don't know.
Okay.
Never quite understood it. And I would just go through all the characters in order of level and optimize them. And then for the most part, I just tried to stay leveled up pretty well. I grinded a lot. I did a lot of, they have these missions that you can do over and over again to grind.
Mhm.
And I did a lot of those. But I didn't play it the way a lot of people played it, which is, put your Pegasus in the back, put your melee characters in the front, get a couple of magic characters, and then you can like literally program how they battle, because the whole gimmick of the game is you don't control your characters directly. You don't
Yeah.
decide anything. You kind of program them. So you might say,
Yeah.
if anybody on the squad has less than 50% health, heal them. Otherwise,
Okay.
attack people on the back row if there's more than 2 people. But there's no way I am going to micromanage 40 of those people. If it was like
That's
4,
hard.
if it was a party of 4, sure.
How many people battle at a time? Is it
All of well,
really?
you have your little squads. They're running on the map, and when one of them intersects with an enemy,
Also, you can separate your squads, is what you're saying.
yeah, you can separate them. And then, but you
okay.
want to keep them together, because if you have, like, let's say 3 squads near each other and one of them gets into a battle, you can actually swap out the battling squad with one of the other ones.
Okay, so if it's one of the weaker squads, that's just more of an exploring one, you can say, all right, I gotcha.
Right. And not even like weaker squads. Some squads have like more magic characters that are more effective against that enemy.
Based on who you're fighting. Gotcha.
So instead of like trying to like overthink, if you were going to play this game for real, you'd have to like look at the squads, click on all of them for the enemy, analyze them. And it's like,
Before you attack them.
I like what they're thinking about here, but the fact that the game is 65 hours and there's just a million missions, you're just not
40
going to
characters.
micromanage it to that level. Yeah, but when
They
you play a
needed to
game
do, like smaller size. Same concept, less people,
Mm-hmm.
less bitter. Yeah, that would make
Yep.
more sense.
And when you look at your squad, it's really hard to tell what the characters are. They're very small, and the UI doesn't do a great job of like when you select them that you can tell who that is. Sometimes I would swap them just to see who it was I was selecting.
Mhm.
So when you play a game like Fire Emblem, you have one character at a time, and they're big, and you can tell who they are, and you know that their capabilities are. So you might see a character that's like a sword user, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to bring the axe in,
Mhm.
and it's just easier to understand that. You know what I mean? Like that that
Yeah.
like sword defeats axe, and like they have like the triangle.
Yep.
It's easier to understand how you want to like leverage your guys. It's just more visible and more easy to handle. With this game, it was like, no, there's no way. It would take me 200 hours if I was going to do it. So, but I loved
That's
it. I loved it. It
ridiculous.
was really good. I wouldn't say it has replay value because you can't really change the class of your characters. Not that I've seen. So when you promote them, they kind of promote to one thing.
Okay.
Versus like some other games when you can have like you can change the classes of the characters and have them do kind of different things.
Mhm.
I use an example like Yakuza Like a Dragon is a game where your party of 4, you can change their jobs. So you
Okay.
can play the game again and have completely different character classes. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
This one, not really. So, but it was good. I had a lot of fun just grinding my guys up over and over and over again and finding little side quests and then eventually just kind of sweeping through them and all. But I am glad
Nice.
it's over too. It was a lot of time.
Nice.
A lot of time. All
Very
right,
cool.
your turn.
So I think I feels like I played this game forever ago, but Amy and I were playing through Cat Quest 2 co-op mode. If you ever played the first one, it's almost identical to that first one, but different storyline and quest. But yeah, so we loved this game. We had so much fun playing this game, John. We decided we wanted to 100% it. And when I say 100%, when you play the game in the top left corner, God, it's probably been over 2 weeks, but there's 3 things that has like, which I love, 13/50. So like, great, I need to go find 37 more of these things. So it's very easy to see. The 3 things were caves, and in the caves, you had to find everything in the cave. Right. So sometimes it was like hidden chests. If you didn't find the hidden chest, it didn't count. So we did all the caves. There was side quests. We did every single side quest, and there was armor and weapon pieces, and we found every armor and weapon piece. So we did all of those. Of course, this is one of those games though that like when you 100% it and beat the story, like nothing happens. How hard is it as a developer just to like something, a little extra ending or like you know what I'm saying? Like we've talked about this in the
cap
past.
or something.
Something,
Yeah.
or even a screen that's like, wow, you did everything. Like, that would at least make me feel better. Like, that's even easier.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, this game did not have this. I know Cat Quest 3 is coming out later this year, so I'm excited for that one. I think that one introduces new mechanics, some side-scrolling mechanics, and there's pirates and whatnot. But, yeah, Cat Quest 2. It's an oldie, but a goodie. If you never played any Cat Quest series, they're fun.
How long did it take you, would you say, to 100% it?
I want to say definitely less than 20 hours. I want to say maybe 15-ish, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I've been meaning to kind of play these games, but there's never a good time.
Yeah, you could probably beat it in less than 10, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's tons of puns and jokes, as you can imagine.
I keep waiting for you to use a cat pun in your review, and my brain is like, why isn't he?
It says, I just looked it up on how long to beat. 7.5 hours regular, 12.5 for 100%. So we probably were around 15. We probably took our time and when we were doing the caves, we also didn't know, like when you play games, like, oh, we're not going to 100% it. You don't think of it.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's so many caves you do, and then like we weren't fully exploring them. So then we had to go back and redo them.
Yeah.
Like if we knew up front, like we're going to 100% the game, but you know what, you don't know if you're going to love it or you're going to like it or not. So you're like, let me just play the game. Well, then halfway through, you're like, man, this game's awesome. I love it. It's having a lot of fun. And then you have to go back.
You got to go back. Yeah, you got to like almost like replay the whole game.
Yeah, but you dominate those caves as your level and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
Those are the best games, 100%. The ones that you said, like you said, are
oh yeah,
very, very clearly show you your progress.
yep,
Ideally, like have sections. So you have like a hint as to where the things are.
yep.
And then, of course, give you
It
something.
didn't necessarily have hints. I mean, you'd have to go to the map, and then the
Hmm.
map you can kind of zoom around really quick, and you can see if there's like an exclamation point above a character, or they do have the caves that have like a little question mark, meaning you didn't explore them yet. So there's ways to see it at least.
Okay.
Yep,
Sweet.
nice. All right, that's
Um,
you.
I played through Dave the Diver, which
Ooh,
I didn't think I was going to get to the end of that game. That took me, gosh, I think I spent like a couple weeks and I was still on chapter 1 because I was just constantly playing like other things.
mm-hmm.
And it was so this was a, I can't remember if I mentioned the last episode, but it's a PS Plus extra game. So I was able to play
Okay,
it for free on the service.
nice.
And so that was like why I gave it a try again, because I had tried the demo on Switch and I was like, yeah, this looks like it would be good, but I'm just not interested. And yeah, like I got further than where I had gotten the first time pretty quickly. And then I just took me forever to get through chapter 1. And then as soon as I finished chapter 1, I was like working on chapter 2, and I'm thinking like this game doesn't really have its hooks in me.
Mm-hmm.
I kept playing, and then I think once I hit chapter 3, I think it took me like 2 days to go through chapter 3, 4,
Oh,
5,
jeez.
6, 7. Like and I at no time did this game ever really, really, really get its hooks in me. But I just wanted to finish it. Like I wanted to see the story.
Yeah.
It has a pretty good story.
When you say that
And
I wanted to finish it, was it because you were intrigued in the story, or you just felt like not hate play, but kind of hate play?
I was not hate playing, that's for sure.
Okay.
I just wasn't fully engrossed either. It was
Okay.
just the game does a really good job of constantly throwing new things at you the whole game. Like it's not like just going into the ocean and catching fish and then selling them in the restaurant. If it
Mhm.
was, I think that would have been boring.
It would have been like that other game that we hate,
Moonlighter.
Moonlight. Yeah.
But like when you when you go to the restaurant, so like that part of Moonlighter that I
Yep.
couldn't stand, the selling part, way better in Dave the Diver. Because it's actually kind of a mini game. You are a waiter in the restaurant, and there's
Okay.
a chef that's making sushi, and then there's customers that want you to pour them tea, and sometimes you have to clean up the tables,
Okay.
and you can't really fail. You just don't make a lot of money. So the more times you bring a dish to a customer or fill their tea or fill their beer and that sort of stuff, you make money. So it behooves you to be good at it to make money. And it's actually fun. It feels like a mini game. Whereas Moonlighter, that never felt like a mini game.
That was the
It
only way to
felt,
progress. It felt like, and it was hard to
yeah,
do. Yeah.
right. It felt like, find the perfect amount to sell this item for and stuff. And then the ocean parts were done very well, but I did get a little bored of just like going and catching fish so that I could sell them in the restaurant.
Hmm.
But there's so many like main quests and side quests going on in the ocean. So like there's times when you have to catch certain fish and they're very clearly marked. So you just go dive and you swim around and you find stuff and so that always kept the game interesting. And then they would have these little platforming elements along the way
Huh.
and some like story. Nothing there was nothing in the story that was like a huge twist or whatever. It was pretty straightforward and
Hmm.
normal. But I just wanted to keep going and see what the game was going to throw at me next, and it just kept me entertained.
Hmm.
So I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. I'm glad I
Very
finished
cool.
it. It's longer than you think it should be, but it's not like super long either. I think it's like 20 to 25 hours.
Okay. That's
So
an okay. But yeah, that game seems like more like an 8 to 10 hour type game. But
yeah,
hmm,
you expect it to be a lot shorter.
yeah.
It's very well done, and when you roll credits, that's when it feels like an indie game, but it's not. It's done by
Yeah.
a big team.
Yep.
But it's just super polished and really well done, and yeah, it's really good. So
Interesting. All right. Um, continue to play Hogwarts Legacy. I think I mentioned that last time. Very slowly. I forgot that I had the handy dandy app I told you guys about a couple weeks ago. So Cat Quest, by the way, 18 hours I played. Hogwarts, I'm 14 hours in. So very slowly. I find myself with this game, like this is the game I'm playing right now. This is like my game that I'm playing when I'm not playing games with the wife. I have a hard time, John, picking up the game. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's
Anyway.
just it. Put the graphic shit aside from now, because that's not the problem. That's not the problem. I just find maybe like I'm not a super Harry Potter nerd, and maybe that's it. Like I seen
Mhm.
the movies, never even read the books. I don't know if that's the problem. I can't like just get into it. There were parts of the storyline that I find intriguing. There was the one part we had to go to kind of early on in the game, the Forbidden Forest, right? And you go down this into these ruins, and there's a big story development there. Like that, like I played 2 hours straight, like I couldn't put it down. So it was. I'm kind of intrigued with the story, but then some of that stuff, right? It's the Zelda concept in a weird way. Like you don't do a nice big story mission, and then you go back, you get new things, new spells, you want to go explore and unlock. That's the part that I'm really struggling with because I don't know. There's no motivation for me. I
Mm.
also feel like there's a lot in this game, and you don't have to do everything, right? You can get, I feel like I'm 15 hours in and I'm still unlocking new aspects of like gameplay. Like all of a sudden, like 2 hours a day, like you now have talent points. I'm like, I'm 12 hours in and you're just telling me I have skill points I can go put in a skill tree. Like it's slow feeding me, but at the same time, I feel like I'm making really good progress in the game. And then it's just constant more spells, more spells. And I get it, right? You don't want to play a Harry Potter game and have 5 spells. I get that, but it's also a lot to memorize. Like what spell does which? Like I have to go to the menu a lot and say, what's this icon? What spell is this? Okay, what does that spell do? Okay. And
Right.
they'll have a quest that shows you how to do it. But then you use it for the next 30 minutes and then I don't need it anymore. And I might need it 3 hours later. I'm like, God, what was that spell that moves shit? Like
Yeah,
it's
they
hard
have
for
those pretty
me.
specialized spells for like managing your room and like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I just didn't cover. Like again, 14 hours of the game. The last thing I did was like, oh, you have this room now. You can put a potion table and you can put a crafting table. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's a great game. It honestly, it's a great game. If it was Lord of the Rings, I'd be ball fucking deep in it. But it's not. And will I finish it? I really hope so. I really think so. But I feel like I have a lot left to go. And I don't know. It's a huge map, by the way. It's a massive
It's
game.
way too fucking big of a map,
It's
honest.
almost too big, but I also, from what I hear, this game's not like it's a 50 or 80-hour game either, right?
It can be. It depends how you want to play it. I mean, you
Sure.
could they really stuffed a really big map and stuffed like a million like little, not even like side quest things, but like there's like 60 Merlin trials to do,
Yes,
and
I saw a
it's
few
like,
of those.
yeah, and I feel like they overstuffed it. I feel like they should have made this game a little leaner because it is really overfilled with stuff.
Hmm.
I would not recommend trying to do all of it. I think it gets really mundane if you try. I mean, I was like, I mean, I lost my vision playing this game,
Yep.
but like, and I didn't even 100% it. I still haven't 100% of the thing.
It's a
Um,
lot.
it's a lot. It's too much. And the thing with the spells, and I don't know if you're there or not,
Yep.
when you start off and like, you're like, ooh, I got Leviosa. And you're like,
Yep.
cool. Like that's from the movies and fun. And
Yeah,
then you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I got Expelliarmus. And it's like, all of this stuff is familiar. Then you start getting the other spells where it's
Yeah.
like for changing your room around. And then they're like, okay, you have different pages of spells.
So I have
So you
two
can have,
pages unlocked.
right. I mean, you can
That,
have 4 pages. I think you can do or three
I
or
think
four
I think you can do
pages.
4. I think you can up, yeah, all the 4. And I
Yeah.
agree. Like that was the confusing part. I'm like, okay, well that at least helps me because now I don't have to start changing like back and forth because I
Swapping
only
them
can
out.
hold 4 spells at a time. But at the same time, it makes it more complicated. So
It
now it's like
does.
you have a like a battle. I guess I don't know if you want to call it 4 battle spells. Then I have like 4
Mhm.
exploring spells, 4 decorating spells, and I'm just like, oh my God. And my wife started playing this game a while ago when I first bought it, and she's obsessed with Harry Potter. But she said the same thing, like it's too much.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. And sometimes that's, I mean, we've talked about this again in the past. Like, is that bad sometimes if it's that overwhelming? I don't know.
I think it
I
does
mean,
affect the game. I don't know if it's possible. I don't want to play game designer. There could very well be reasons they may very well have tried.
sure.
But wouldn't it have been neat if like every spell was a different control combination and you hold down a button and maybe do like different like stick movements or something so that
Maybe.
you can do any spell at any time? Like that would have been interesting. I don't know if they play tested that, but yeah, like by the end of the game,
Yeah.
you actually get to swapping spells in and out because even all the pages
Isn't enough.
isn't enough. And
Yeah.
it really takes you out of it because in the early parts of the game, you're like, Leviosa's up and this is this. And by the end, you're just like, I don't know, where the fuck did I stick Leviosa? Like, you don't even,
Yeah.
it doesn't, you're not attached to it anymore.
And I think that was my problem. When I started this game and you're doing your duels and you only have 2 spells and you're like, it's very fluid, right? You're pushing the R button. It feels good. You're throwing little magic like bursts at these guys. And it's like, you're doing the damage. And then like you said, the longer you get in the game, it's like, well, you have to break a shield and you have to shield and you have to block and then you have to do Leviosa and then you can attack them. And it's like, it's
Right.
like, it's
Too much.
It's all fine and great, but sometimes I just like the simplicity of the game. You know, think of like Tears of the let's think of Breath of the Wild. It's like the Great Plateau is so comforting, and it's like I don't want to leave the Great Plateau. I like it. I know everything. It's fun, but
Right.
there's a whole world out there to explore, and it's like it's too much. But then Zelda's different because we love Zelda, and maybe that's the difference. But I just don't love Hogwarts and Harry Potter.
Well, even
I
in
don't
the
know.
Zelda games, right? They gave you like these 4 skills on the plateau,
Yep,
and that's all you ever have. You
it's a
never
great
get
point.
anything else.
It's a
And
great point.
you stay focused on those 4, whereas this game is the whole game is throwing new spells at you, and you just can't
It's
you
just
can't
like
just
I
juggle them.
feel like I'm just running around the castle, spamming Revelio, hoping I see something.
I forgot
Go
about that. Yeah.
go into that area, and then I'm like, all right, what of the 48 spells I have do I need now to solve this puzzle? Or like trying to find a moth and then go back with like it's just like, oh, what am I doing? And then I'm like, and then you know how it is. It's like I'm just gonna stick to the main storyline. That's all I'm gonna do. And then you start on that path, and then like you said, oh, a Merlin trial. What the fuck's this? This looks fun.
Mhm.
And then next thing you know, you spend 30 minutes doing a Merlin trial, and you're like, fuck. Like I only it's just
Well, the other problem you have is you try to like my problem with these big games is you do try to main quest,
yeah,
but what happens is you start to feel less powerful
that's a good point too.
because you're not doing the side questing stuff and you're not getting, the forbidden spells and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you're kind of forced to side quest. That's
Yep.
how I did Horizon Zero Dawn. I main quested, and by the end of the game, I had to lower it down to the easiest difficulty. So you
That's a
kind
good
of
point.
need to do side questing, even if you don't want to. You kind of have to, unless you just play it on easy mode.
You know, it's funny, and I'll leave it off with this with Hogwarts Legacy is I recognize this is actually a really good game. I actually have no problems with the game as a whole. And now that I'm thinking back, this isn't the first time I felt this way about a game that was good but lost my interest. I'm thinking
yeah.
back to Red Redemption. Like I didn't hate that game, but it was almost just too much for me to play, and I couldn't get into it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's a thing that's recognized in a good game, but just it's not for you. And I'm somewhere in the middle on this one, and that's my problem. Is I enjoy it. I just wish it was simpler, and I don't see it getting any simpler. So leave it at that. Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know. Next time we talk, I might not be playing it. We'll see.
Sweet. What school were you in, by the way? Which
Slytherin.
Slytherin? Oh, that's right.
My name is
Yep.
Drew Baggins.
Drew T. Baggins. I'll squeeze a couple in. One of them real quick. I finally played Fez. Very excited.
Okay. Yeah.
Been wanting to play it ever since the documentary came out years and years and years ago. Michelle had it, and I was gonna just try it on her Switch, and then if I liked it, I was just gonna buy my own copy. And I just decided I'll just play it on her Switch. So I did. I played through it. It only took me a couple days. I probably played it maybe a little bit too much when I shouldn't be. But I mean, it was good. I didn't love it. It's interesting. So you remember Fez is the game where it's like 2D and then you rotate the whole screen and it's like it changes because you're in a 3D world, but when you're looking at it, you only see the 2D plane.
Kind of like that paper. Didn't Paper Mario do that on the Wii?
I think there's some elements of it. Yeah, I think there were some elements, but the whole game is like that. And if you don't know what this is, not you, I know you know.
I'm looking at it now. I remember this one.
Yeah, watch a trailer because it's hard to really explain. But but you're looking at a 2D model, but you can rotate it in 3D, and that's its really good gimmick. The thing that really frustrated me this whole game was the navigation. To get from like area to area and try to find the mysteries and find these little golden cubes that you had to find. they wouldn't let you fast travel, and it's
Oh.
just slowly, methodically going back through a tree, looking at a map. The map was hard to read. I think that like really slowed me down and whatever. You have to get I want to say 32 golden cubes
Okay.
to beat the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
But there are 64 cubes. And some of these cubes are split up into into 4. No. 8?
8? Just to get 1?
Yeah, so they're split. Some of them are split up into eighths.
Oh my god!
And then you'll find the little cubes a lot more often on a level. But then some of them are just an entire cube by themselves. And there's 32 gold ones and 32 like dark ones. But any combination of 32, and you can basically roll credits.
Okay.
I had no desire. I struggled. I got to 32 and I was like, that's it. And then I didn't know what to do. You're supposed to go to this game. You're supposed to go to this place. And I was like, where is that? And of course the map doesn't tell you.
Oh,
you're supposed to just remember that it was referred to as this place it's over here. I had to look it up. Yeah. And then, so you can actually go and try to like get all 64 cubes and get the good ending. And it's like, fuck that. No.
Only halfway there.
I was like, I'm done, dude. So it's very creative, and the puzzle solving is really interesting, but there were some real crazy, like, I don't even want to say puzzle solvings. Like, you have to like do this like 16 character sequence on your D-pad. And it's like, okay, where was I going to find that out? I have no idea. So I didn't love Fez, but I am super glad I finished it. But a very similar game, Animal Well, that is also a puzzle game. And actually,
on this one.
I believe the creators said they were inspired by Fez.
Oh, really?
I enjoyed much, much more. So Animal Well is the game that you've probably seen in some recent trailers. It has a very kind of 2D. I don't want to say retro style because it doesn't look retro style, but it's 2D pixel.
It's like 16-bit though, right? Kind of.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like any game I've seen before. It's very dark, but it has like a lot of neon going on, a lot of great little like particle effects, like stage effects. Like there's like this one, like, so anyways, it's a platformer. You're in some animal well, I guess, and it's a platformer, and you have to, very early on, they say you have to find these 4 flames and then bring them together and do that. So they show you have this like big map, and as you explore, you unlock, in the map what, you can see what that level is. There's a lot of getting to, it's like a Metroidvania. There's a lot of getting to areas and not being able to do something or not know what you're supposed to do, and then you come back later. It's extremely good. The puzzles are really clever. There's like secret stuff everywhere. I swear, like every screen has like a secret. There are literal like eggs that you have to find, and the eggs for the most part are just a collectible, but it does unlock doors in the game. Like I said, I don't think they're necessary. I don't think any of them are necessary, but I feel like you probably at least have to get 8. I don't know. No, but it's very good.
But I like this game.
I don't know. If you are an impatient gamer, you may not. And like, you don't like Metroidvanias. I don't know if you would like,
but it just depends how they're done.
I don't know if you would like this. At one point I got stuck and I didn't know what to do. And I thought that I had to free these cats from their cages.
Mm-hmm.
And so I eventually was like so stuck, and I was like, I just looked it up. And they were like, oh yeah, you got to use the wand, and you got to do up, left, right.
What do you play as?
You play as a blob. Like a nameless blob. And I was really annoyed because I was like, how was I supposed to know that? And then it turned out it was all optional anyway. I needed to do something else. But it's definitely a game where you can find yourself exploring the map and not knowing that the very important thing that you need to do is on that area.
Gotcha.
But if you stay focused and just try to get to the flames, it'll help you to kind of get a feel for like where you need to try to break through. But extremely clever. Like sometimes you play these platformer games and it's just a lot of the same regurgitated platform gimmicks and whatever. This one was really interesting. There was lots of very unique stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do combat in the game. Generally, you avoid battles
Okay.
with enemies. Yeah, it's extremely well done. But like, I did get frustrated a few times, and when you get lost, it doesn't make you feel really good because they don't give you any help besides show you the flames on the map.
Yeah.
And when you don't know what to do, and you're just like, "Rrr," and it's hard to look up what to do because people are going. There's like 4 major areas, and as far as I know,
Yeah.
all those areas have items you can get, and you can go in any of those directions.
Gotcha.
So there's people who found, one item first and people who found a different item. And so it's hard to use a walkthrough. But it's a really good game. And if you love like Metroidvanias and puzzle solving,
Is it better than Hollow Knight, John?
oh yeah. It's way better. It was way better than Fez. I had more fun. In fact, I started playing Animal Well when it came out on PS Plus. And I put Dave the Diver down, and I didn't pick up Dave the Diver again until I finished Animal Well. Yeah, I was like, I have to finish Animal Well, So I had a really good time with it.
Nice. I'll pick 2. I'll do 2 really quick. So I had actually this weekend was my daughter's 10th birthday. Woohoo! And double digits. So we had another sleepover party we limited this year, only 3 friends. And I just want to say those 4 girls were so well behaved, it blew my mind. Like, so we went upstairs, they were playing, they were wicked good. So like 10:15, I said, all right, I went in the room. I said, I want you girls to kind of turn the lights off, get your sleeping bags ready, and like you guys can watch a full movie. But just like settle down. Like so my wife was going to sleep with my son somewhere else. So I said, all right, I got the whole bedroom to myself. I said, I'll just try to bring the Switch and watch TV. And that way I can like kind of hear if anything's going on. So I decided to play Super Mario Land. And
that was the weirdest setup to say you played Super Mario Land.
That was the setup. Played Super Mario Land. Fun game. I mean, it's an easy game. You'd probably play through the whole game in almost 30, 45 minutes. It's
really short, yeah.
It's really short.
Especially with Rewind.
Exactly, yeah. Played a little Alleyway. Classic. And yeah, just kind of, I think I was watching basketball or something was on. Yeah, I forget what game was on. Anyways, that's the story there. So played NSL, played those 2 games. I don't really have to talk about them. You guys know what they are. Go play them. But then I've been playing Pikmin 3 with the wife because if you remember, it was a birthday present Mother's Day present. Mother's Day present for her, so I could play. So we are about 8 hours into this game, and the difference with Pikmin 3 to Pikmin 4, which I found is Pikmin 3 has the co-op mode where it legit splits the screen. Mm-hmm. And it's like 2 people are legit just playing a normal Pikmin game. And you have to share your Pikmin kind of, right? So if you have 100, you only can carry 50 each. But besides that, you're independently playing your own Pikmin game and working together to solve it, which is nice because you can kind of split up and cover a map a lot quicker.
Super handy.
It is super handy. So if you remember in Pikmin 4, they don't have that. They have that the second player can like throw rocks and do certain things, but not really as engaged as the main player. So I will say this. I know a lot of people spoke highly of Pikmin 3, and I've only ever played 4. So I'm going in kind of blind here. And obviously downgrading a little bit if I played the new one.
Oh, that's not a downgrade.
I'm a little disappointed, John. I feel like the story's a little lackluster, which I get. It's fine. It's Pikmin.
The story.
It's fine. But I guess my problem that I'm really struggling with this game is that like what I've loved about 4 is you went out and you played a level, you came back and you had Ochi, and you played a level, and then like you had upgrades. You could upgrade your armor, you could upgrade Ochi, you could go upgrade your costume, like you could upgrade things. It gave you motivation to collect things and come back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I feel like with Pikmin 3, you're collecting fruit that gives you juice to power your ship, which is irrelevant because after the second level, you have 20-something fruit juices. You're never going to run out. Right? So that part of the gameplay is so broken, it's irrelevant because you have unlimited days in my eyes, the way I look at it. I'm never going to take me 20-something levels straight without collecting any fruit. That's just not going to happen in that game. I just feel like you're playing the levels, and then that's it. Like there's nothing else.
I mean,
You're,
you can find like you want to find all the things.
of course, and we will.
Yeah.
We'll 100% it. But there's nothing like there's no Ochi. There's like I said, there's nothing to like when you beat a level to go back to your hub and say like I just did these things. I collected all these items. Let me upgrade something or let me change the way I now play the game and I can do something. There's just none of that. It's a little disappointing. But what's the word on the street? Like, why do you guys or why does this team have such a better reputation than I'm giving it?
Well, I mean, most of that reputation was when 3 was the newest one.
Sure, that's true.
I liked 3 because it involved multiple space people. And
Okay.
like the story kept kind of ping-ponging back and forth. Oh, we found this ship. Now let's go here. And then you control this character. Not that the characters are really different, but like there's some differences. And then you have to go, oh, I found the other character. They're on the other side of this wall. And I'm like, ooh, okay, we got to get this wall down. And then after that, it's like, okay, I want to get all of the items. You know, I always like the way they name the items in the Pikmin games.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I definitely feel like you're right. Like the fruit juices, they've always had a problem with how to handle time capping your game, and they've always changed it. And I don't think they ever really found the perfect way, but I don't know if there needs to be, right?
Agreed.
But I just kind of enjoy it. The thing about 4, I loved 4, but like they had these really big worlds that were just huge, and you had to figure out which direction you wanted to go in, but it always felt kind of overwhelming. And it also felt like nothing was hidden. Whereas in 3, I felt like I was like finding there was like all these weaving paths, and I'd be like, ooh, look, I can get up there. I don't know what it is. Just felt like more challenging. And the thing about 4, I agree with you. Like, I like that you can upgrade things and whatever, but I did not like that when you went back to your hub by the end of the game, there's like no joke, like 30 people just kind of standing there. And you're like, okay, which one of you bastards is the one I need to talk to about this particular mission or whatever.
That's a fair point.
6 of them will have little exclamation points, and it's so overwhelming. Like, you know, I like to go back to the ship and be like, okay, what am I going to do today, and not have a million people, you know, conflicting with me.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say about all of Pikmin, again, I've only experienced 2 games, is I get the whole concept of you're on this planet Earth, right? Blah, 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 blah. But like, why not change it up? Like, I'm just tired of playing in like, just like a grassy environment with little streams and you're going to take like where's like snow or desert or I don't know, just jungle. Like it's just the same shit level after level after level. Like do like at least Pikmin 4 had that one level where you were in the house. Remember that? Like give me more of that. I'd go to a factory. I don't give a shit. Do something that's a little, and maybe it's coming, but the first 4 or 5 levels we played, they're exactly the same. Just they laid out differently, different designs. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
that's my bitch with Pikmin. It's just like be creative with like something. And I get the whole concept of like you're in the backyard concept, but whatever. Still not okay with it.
1 and 2 are going to be the same.
Well, I'm probably not going backwards at this point. Maybe
there's water though. Water.
But that's my point. After 4 games, they're all the same.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, and the big thing in 4 was like, oh, there's tides now. The water comes like, really?
That's true of a lot of games. I mean, it could be that you're playing 3 like pretty quickly after 4, but
true.
You know, I don't know. Yeah, it's that question, right? Should the games be different or should they be the same, right? And
yeah, it's tough. Yeah, you don't want to
just like that Pikmin formula.
Yep. All right, I got one more left, but you have a few more too. So
I got a few, but I'm not going to go into much detail. But Vampire Survivors, I actually won some runs for the first time in my life.
Whoop, whoop.
I think you just get to a certain part where you have enough perma boosts.
Agreed.
That it like once I beat one run, I basically beat
almost every time after
every
that.
Run. There was one I died with 30 seconds to go because you know, when you get to the end, I didn't even know this happened, but when you get to the end of a run and you're just getting either the chicken or the money.
Mhm.
And so you don't get any more upgrades.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
chicken or
right.
money, chicken or money. I got an option that said always chicken or always money. And I was like,
Ooh.
oh, well, always money. And I wasn't really thinking. Of
Yeah.
course, I started taking some damage and I couldn't get it to give me chicken. And I died. I was so pissed
I
off.
don't remember that the option of saying, "Oh," I remember the chicken money. I didn't remember you could click one that said always.
The first time or two that I beat it, I did not get that option. And then when I
Weird.
got it after, I was so like curious, like, what does that even mean? That's when I did it. And I
You
should
probably
have said
learned
always
never to do
chicken.
that again.
Yeah. But yeah, like then it's like I feel like the game gets a little bit boring because like
So
but you get like 10
yep.
minutes in, and then the last 20 minutes you're just like watching the clock.
That's exactly what happened to me, and I think that's why for that game I kind of never thought it was as good as people said, because it got to the point where it's just so repetitive. It's like, all right, I beat a few runs, and I get there's a bigger arching story to tell and find shit, but it got way too repetitive for me because, like you said, you were beating every run. So at this point, you're just playing the levels for 30 minutes to try to find something, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
was trying to
lost
find all the
interest.
coffins.
Yep.
But like there's not even strategy in like I have some particular favorite like items. Like I like the garlic.
Me too. Love the garlic.
I would just like when I did a new character, I would often like just pick a new weapon just to see what it was. So if I
Change it
unlocked
up.
something new, yeah. And then
Yeah.
I want to see what it like does its final upgrade to, right?
Sure.
And every weapon is powerful. Every weapon is good. Like
Yep.
so there's not even a strategy to like, oh, you want to go for the garlic combo with this and I don't know, all of them seem to be effective. I don't
Mhm.
know. But I enjoyed the game much more after having some success because generally I was dying after like 5 minutes.
Yep.
And I've unlocked a ton of characters, so I haven't played it in a bit, but I'm gonna come back to it and just try to unlock some more stages and try to find the items and then see if I can
Mhm.
do this vampire beat.
This
Um,
is also mobile, and it's a great pooping game.
yeah, but I want to use a controller. Like
You don't
as
need
with,
to. You just move your thumb around the screen. That's
I
it. It's
hate
just an
that.
easy. There's zero controls on this game.
You're right, but like
It's
I just hate
zero
that.
controls. You
I do
literally
not
have to
like
use.
sliding my finger across a
But all you
screen.
do is use the joystick. There's zero buttons
I
unless
know,
you're in
but
the menu
there's
screen.
something more relaxing about laying back and using the stick and not have to go woo 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 woo. I don't know. So I'll come back to it. And I started playing this game because I was really interested in the Contra DLC, but there's 3 other DLCs.
Among Us, right?
So I might go through them in order or something. But
I didn't play any of the DLCs.
I want to beat the game proper. I want to do the proper beat of the game first, and then I'll start exploring some DLC. I started playing Banishers Ghosts of New Eden on PS5. I had bought it on launch. This is a Don't Nod game.
Of
And
course it is.
I've been, obviously wanting to go through it. I am, I think, about 8-9 hours in or so. It's good. It doesn't have its hooks in me quite yet. It feels very similar to like Plague Tale in that
Mhm.
it's, pretty realistic looking and it's not an open world, but you have to go from here to here and here to here. I don't feel like I'm being given the ability to just explore wherever, but there is fast travel. I just don't do it because I'm usually locked into a story. So I'll talk more about it maybe in a couple weeks, but it
Okay.
hasn't gripped me like I thought it might, but it does have its moments too. So
Is this like third person shooter / hack and slash? Is that the gameplay?
it's mostly like it's third person,
Trying to look at pictures, get a sense
realistic
of it.
sort of thing, but it's more about like solving ghost stories.
Okay.
And so each of the stories is actually very interesting. And usually stories in games don't really grip me all that much. But each little, like, it's usually like a couple characters that are in conflict and you find out some secret. Like there's one story where this guy is like waiting in a tent and he's waiting for his friend to get back. And he's like, can you find him? But there's like flies everywhere and it's like weird. And so they go out looking for the guy and then they can like see the past. They have the ability to kind of like
Mhm.
see, and they see that like the guy actually killed him. He threw him off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then they find the body and then they go back and they're like, hey, your friend died and you killed him, and like it turns out he's been going back to visit his friend and then cutting
Oh,
him up
shit.
and eating him.
That's
So it's
up.
these little ghost stories that you have to
That's up.
solve. Yeah. And so I find each of those interesting. There is an overarching story going on, but whatever. And then the one I just want to spend a couple minutes on, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, right? I've been
You've been
talking about
waiting
this
for this
game
one.
for months. Very rarely do I get hyped for a game and then it lives up to it. This is like lived up to it and more.
Wow.
I didn't know what this game was. I
don't think anybody did.
No, they very intentionally did not say what it was. You could see it was like some puzzle solving, but even the clips of it are just weird. And I kind of thought it was like some kind of like Wario game. It is so cool. It really takes me back to the 80s when you used to play the Sierra games and it was like you type in what you want to do. It is I'll describe it. So this is the people that made Sayonara Wild Hearts. So I knew I was going to play this game. It is like an open world puzzle game. And in fact, like Jesse likes to play like escape room games.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, oh, you're going to love this one. They got a code. So I was like, he's going to stream it. He streamed it yesterday. I was like, you're going to love this game or whatever. It's like you start off, you're near a car and that's it. They don't tell you anything of what's going on. You just have to figure it out. You interact with things. You run into a person and you don't even know who you are. You don't know your name. The cool part is you go in the car and you look in the glove box and you can find a manual for the game and they tell you how to play in that manual.
That's cool.
Then you get to a hotel and you got to get in the hotel and you have to solve puzzles to get in the hotel. It's just so much fun. There's just a bazillion puzzles. You can't solve them all as soon as you find them. You just got to keep playing. So if you find a puzzle, like you find like a lock on a door and you try to open it and you just don't, it'll like put it in a book for you. It's called I forget what they call it, but they'll list it and they'll say, oh, open the lock on the first floor door.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you just go around and you find doors you can't get in and other things you can't do. And it just keeps marking them down. And then eventually you start to figure out some of them. It's really cool.
Did you finish it or not yet?
I haven't finished it. I think I'm getting towards the end, but I'm not. I don't think I'm at the end. I think there's some major puzzles you have to figure out, but I don't know what those major puzzles are. But like today I was like really kind of running into a wall. I wasn't sure what to do. And I was like, geez, like, what do I do here? Like, I don't know. And it's another game where like looking up hints would be really hard. You'd have to look up something specific, but it might be completely optional and unnecessary. And then like I figured something out. And when I figured that one thing out, I realized that I was going to figure out these 7 other things. I was like, now that I know how to do this, now I know how to do these. And it's I don't know if they do it intentionally. I am convinced that some people like games and other people don't like the games because of their individual experience. Like if you get stuck in a Metroidvania and you get lost, you're going to hate it, right? There's people who didn't like Metroid Dread because they get lost. But if you didn't get lost in the game and you always felt like you were on a path, you love it more. This game has this perfect balance of whenever I'm like, I don't know what to do next, I just keep exploring the hotel and eventually I'll run into something and I'll figure out what to do. Or I'll see something that I've done before and I'm like, oh, I figured this out now. And then it breaks open a few things. It just keeps doing that. So I love it. It's all I just want to play it. Like I started playing it on
of the old school Alone in the Dark games in a weird way. Like just looking at these screenshots and stuff.
Oh my God. When I played Alone in the Dark, the first one, like I would walk around that freaking mansion forever, not knowing what to do.
But that was the fun part. You'd find a thing and you're like, oh, I saw a record player over there. Let me put the record on and see if something happens.
Right. But as long as you're not spending 4 hours figuring that out. But if you're like lost for 15 minutes and then you figure out something, it's great.
Oh yeah,
and
I agree.
I don't
There's
know
a limit.
as a game designer, how you make sure it's that perfect. But this game to me is that perfect. I'm never like completely lost for too long. I've definitely hit moments 5 minutes, maybe 10 where I don't know what to do, but you just keep exploring and you kind of figure things out. So
nice.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Is it one of those games you aren't finished either because you kind of don't want it to end?
I don't want it to end, and I kind of want to try to do everything in the game. So I don't know
Yep.
what the main quest is. It's all of the tasks and whatever. It says up front in the game, you don't have to do. There's like a percentage meter that says how much truth you know. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
measure your progress. And I'm at about 63% truth, and it says you don't have to do 100%. I don't know what it is that will roll credits though.
Gotcha.
So I'm not like intentionally like holding back, but like there's a bunch of things where I'm like, I really want to do this and I really want to do this. And I really don't, I don't, I think I have a sense for what the major things are, but
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem just solving everything. I don't know if I will, but yeah, I have no problem. It's so much fun.
Hmm.
I don't think Jesse enjoyed it as much. I was watching him stream it and he was getting frustrated. So
Hmm.
he would get stuck on something, and I think because he's played escape room games, he's like trying to solve it here and now. And I had to
Gotcha.
write him and say, look, if you don't know what to do, just move on. Go find other things and you might have more luck. Like, you can come back.
Yeah.
It's a big freaking hotel full of puzzles. It's a bazillion of them. So
Hmm.
but I'm loving it. It's definitely gonna end up in my like top 10 games of the year.
Sweet.
I thought for a moment, I was like, this could be my top 10 all time, but I think we're past that. It's not that kind of game that's going to be my top 10 of all time, and it probably isn't very replayable unless you want to just try to speed run it.
Yep.
But it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's very cool. That's everything I've been playing. Also, Helldivers 2, I maxed out on everything again.
Of course you did.
I'm kind of in this retirement of Helldivers, but
I've been playing one, John. I know you'd probably can't wait to hear about. But thanks to the Nintendo dads, I got a code a while back for the game Survivor. Yes, after the hit TV show. I kind of just haven't played it in a while, haven't had time, but I said this weekend's the time to give it a go. My expectations were low, John. I didn't really know how this game was going to play. We all know the show Survivor, right? You do some challenges. It's very social oriented. You have to make connections with people and alliances, and then someone gets voted out every episode, right? So I was like, how did that really transform into a game? And I was thinking maybe it's just challenges based and you just do a lot of like mini games, and I wasn't sure. Well, let me tell you, my mind was blown at this game, John, in a good and bad way. It was definitely better than I expected, but the expectations was pretty damn low. The best way to really say it had like almost an Oregon Trail feel, where there was a lot of conversation and decisions that you had to make, right? So there would be a situation at camp. Actually, let me rewind. The game starts with it shows like 12 people and it's two tribes, and you have to pick which character you want to play as in which tribe. And then you get thrown on the beach. I went with this like redhead, big beard, fat guy. I'm like, he just seems like he's not a target, and he kind of didn't go under the radar. That was what I went with.
I thought you were going in a different direction when you said redhead, big. And then you went off the rails.
Went off the rail. I wish I did, but I did not. So yeah, you just you start off. There's this. You're at camp, and they throw like different scenarios at you, and there'll be a conversation going like, and there'll be like a little bit of conversation like them talking to camp, and they'll say, for example, oh, what type of player are you? Like, are you old school or new school? Do you like to focus on challenges? And like then you kind of have to react and read the room of what everyone's saying, and it gives you a couple dialogue options. Like, do you want to just kind of like go with the flow? Do you want to stick out? Typical type of stuff. So you do that. And then like in between that, there's a day. And every day is you get a clock in the top right-hand corner, and it says 15 minutes, and it starts counting down. So you have 15 minutes to explore this island, right? And it's not big, but it's certainly not small. And on the island, you have your tribe that's also walking around doing their things. You can go talk to them, and when you talk to them, you can just do chit chat, like talk about life. You can do gameplay discussions, right? And you can kind of get information out of these people. And this is definitely one of those games. Like if you play it, I can't imagine repeatability is going to be big because like, they're going to run out of dialogue, right? This game doesn't have infinite dialogue. So meanwhile, you have your 15 minutes. If you start talking to people and you do like chit chat, it will say like minus 45 seconds. Like it takes time off the clock, right? Which makes sense because if you're talking to people, the clock goes down. Also, while you're exploring the beach, there's a few other things you can do. There's 3 tasks that you need to do every day. You don't have to do them. You can either collect firewood and like you can collect water in your like canteen, and you can like collect coconuts so you have food to eat. And there is supposedly hidden immunity idol somewhere on the island. I've never found it. I've never found it yet. So at the end of your 15 minutes, right? And it's not always 15 minutes. So that I said, if you talk to people, the clock goes out. Oh, and you can fish. I'm sorry. You can also fish in the water, like a little spear, and you have to fish.
Thank God.
But the tough part about the game is there's like a health bar, like 100 out of 100. And every time you do a task, whether it's fishing or collecting firewood or whatever it is, something will go down. Like it's like -2, -2, -2, and your health goes down. Or if you want to do nothing, you can just go nap for the day and you'll get some health back. So like you could have made some smart decisions, whether do you want to talk to people for strategy, do you want to go collect firewoods or resources, because then like your tribe members are like, wow, look at that guy. He's collecting a lot of stuff. He's good for the tribe. And then at the end of the day, there's sometimes a reward challenge. And the reward challenge might be, you get more health most of the time or more type of food or whatever it might be. Or there's the immunity challenge. The immunity challenge, right? It's again a mini game, just like the other one. And if you lose, you have to go to tribal council. The other part, what I like about the game is there's 2 buttons, Y and X. Y brings you to like the map, but you can see people moving around the map, so you can go find them. And X brings up like this dialogue, like family tree looking thing, right, John? So it has all of your cast member, all of your members on your tribe, and it shows like lines between them, like a line chart. And it's like it could either be like green, yellow, or red, and that shows like your alliance and your friendship with them. And the lines are really skinny, or they can be really thick. So if you have like a thick red line that connects your name to that name, you know that they don't like you. You don't get along with those people. And then when you go to tribal council, you vote and you talk to people throughout the game like, hey, I'm voting for this person tonight. Like, you're going to vote for them? And they'll either say like, I'm not talking to you about that. Or they'll say, yeah, I'm in. Let's vote for that person. And you go. So I played a full season. It took me about 2 hours. And what I'll really quick go through it was I was killing it, right? I had some great alliances. Gio was my boy. He was like a gangster from New York. We were killing it. Me and him were just rolling it. Made it all the way to the merge, right? So now I merged with the other tribe, and there was like 5 people left. And I'm getting pissed off because my health is going down and no one is doing their shit around camp. The only one collecting firewood and getting water. And I wasn't happy about it. Meanwhile, these other people doing nothing. So I'm playing the game. The day's almost over. I did a lot of good stuff. And then I'm ready for the next challenge. But a message pops up on the screen. And it says, you pretty much have a medic coming out to see you because you've worked too hard during the day and that your health is running low. And before I fucking know it, they say, I'm sorry, your journey has ended. You are being medically evacuated from the island. And I fucking lost. It's incredible. So at the end of the day, I talked about this game now for the last 8 minutes, whatever it was. The graphics are shitty. It looks like an old computer game, like Alone in the Dark, and it runs smooth. I mean, some of the challenges are actually harder than I thought they were going to be. I had fun. I gotta be honest, I had fun. Once I completed it, it says you unlocked season 2, Brains versus Brawn, which is like a Survivor season. I don't know if it changes the style of play. I'll probably play a few seasons. The only thing I would say, I wish that an entire season was like an hour to hour and a half. I played for 2 straight hours and I didn't even finish one. Like I said, I left when there was like 5 people left. But it's not bad. If you could find this game for sale for like $5 and you get a couple hours out of it and you like the TV show, don't be blown away. But it definitely has like that Oregon Trail decision making. The challenges were better than I expected. Again, not fantastic. But Survivor, it was better than I expected. That's all I'll say. I'll tell you what, it's on my top 10 game of the year, John, because I don't think I've played 10 new games this year. Every game I play is like an older game, and it's going to be on the list as of right now.
by by
By default,
process of elimination, right?
it should be number 4 because, like I said, legit. All
Number
the games I
4.
just talked about tonight, Pikmin 3, Hogwarts, Cat Quest, all came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
There you go.
Survivor.
Are you doing a review on it?
I am. I took some videos. I did play another season. I wanted to do a couple more videos. And then, as you know, my I don't do a lot of reviews because it's hard for me. I have to take 30-second clips, and then I have to take the SD card out and put it in the laptop. It's kind of a pain. So I did play another season to get a few more clips, and then I will do a review.
You got to play a chick.
I'm definitely gonna play Chit this time with big tits.
Right. You're gonna say redhead, big, and then you're gonna finish that sentence how I expect you to.
Yeah. I just can't imagine like each character they did give like a background. Oh, this guy's in a band. This guy's a like life coach. Like I can't imagine there's infinite number of like job titles and descriptions of these personalities. So I can only imagine by the time I'm like in season 3 or 4, it's just going to be repeatable like dialogue and everything.
Right.
Which is going to get very old very fast.
Yeah.
So
there will not be a season 3.
That probably won't be.
You gotta try to win it though. You gotta win it, and don't overwork yourself.
That's the thing. I gotta win it. I feel like I have to keep playing until I win, and then I'm done. So, all right. You got any more games?
No. We had a lot. Sorry, everybody. We went long on that, but we had 3 weeks of games, and
we'll power through the other stuff.
You're welcome. All right, tell us about Manscaped, and then we're going to go through the news. Nice.
Hey there, beach babes. Are you ready to soak up those summer vibes and unveil your ultimate beach bod? Well, you're in luck because our friends at Manscaped have you covered from head to toe. With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, this ultimate all-in-one grooming kit is set to have you looking and feeling your best in the summer sun. Trust Manscaped and let the confidence you need to turn heads this season. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Let's make this summer your smoothest one yet.
I ran out of the shampoo and conditioner today.
Ooh.
And it's like, I got to order it. I got to wait. I should have been a little more proactive, maybe to the subscription. I got to figure out what I'm going to do.
You got to get on that. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Still loving the other tools, though.
I agree. Still use them.
All right. We got a lot of news. First off, the Furukawa here announcement came down. I'll just read the announcement.
Sure.
This came in May 7th. This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo. Congratulations, Furukawa. We will make an announcement about the successor to Nintendo Switch within the fiscal year. That is by end of March 2025. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024. But please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation. So the two things that we get out of this announcement are, perhaps frustratingly, but that the Switch 2 announcement will happen by March 31st, 2025.
That's 10 months.
And we will get a Nintendo Direct precisely in June. So not May, not July, but June, which is good. And it'll cover the latter half of 2024. At what point in the next, 10 months will you absolutely flip your lid if the announcement hasn't happened yet? Because if the announcement comes in March,
April 1st, I mean, they're pretty black and white. It's by March 31st. They'll tell. I mean,
I trust they'll do the announcement by March 31st of 2025.
I would like to think it happens this year, by the end of December 2024. But I mean, if it's not, we can't be mad. I mean, this is as black and white as it get it.
I will be mad. I think it's a very vague announcement, and this is the most sanitary tweet I've ever seen. It's just so sanitary.
It's weird. I think ever said we're gonna have a direct next month. They've never done that before, really, have they?
I don't think we've ever gotten like a direct because they haven't done a direct and everyone's going crazy.
But this was like the announcement for the announcement, because they're probably still going to announce it the week before, like they always do, or the week of, like Monday.
Yeah.
So this is like the announcement of the announcement.
Announcement of an announcement. Paper Mario comes out Thursday, and after that, we don't know. I don't think we have a date. Do we have a date for Luigi's Mansion too?
Yeah, it's June. It's June 20 something.
So Luigi's Mansion, and was there one other one, or is that it? Is Luigi the last one?
That's it.
And that's it. And that's also the most unexciting one, I think, of all of the remakes. Like Super Mario RPG was like, oh, cool, an accessible remake. And Paper Mario, cool, I can play it here. Yep. Like Luigi's Mansion 2 it was on 3DS. It wasn't that long ago. And I didn't love Luigi's Mansion 2.
Never played it.
It is really hard to tell when they're going to do the announcement, because if you just follow along and do it exactly the way the Switch did it, it's not in like say, okay, they're gonna give us some information, they're gonna announce it in like October, and then we're gonna get a video in January and all that.
I mean, this could just be covering their shoes. For all we know, we're still getting the Switch 2 this year.
Oh, I mean, sure.
He didn't say we weren't.
It doesn't feel like it, but it possibly, yeah, they could announce it tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think
it doesn't feel like that's happening.
I would bet that we're not getting it this year.
Yeah, I think this means that it's coming in 2025. Maybe in the middle of 2025. I don't know. And it's going to be announced. I mean, like they could reasonably announce it after Christmas, right? Because Christmas is a big deal. And like I was saying, with the Wii U, it wasn't selling. So it was okay that they announced the Switch before the holidays.
How many people are they still I mean, they're going to make sales regardless, but it's like, I don't know.
There's a lot of people buying the Switch, and they don't want to kneecap those sales.
Sure.
So very reasonably, they could announce this thing after Christmas and release it for the holidays of 2025. We could be a year and a half away.
We could be. We very well could be.
It's going to be torture.
But here's the problem. If that were to happen, right, I think they're still struggling to put games out for 2024. If they push it too far into 2025, like that's a whole nother year of games they need to come out with. And what's third party going to do? Are they going to be like, I mean, they're obviously going to keep feeding the console that has this many sold, but these new games they're building, they're not going to want to build for a 9-year-old console. They're not going to want to.
Oh, I mean, but yeah, they will. Like, games like Animal Well came out, and there's so many people.
Sure.
There's so many games with Switches, but like the whole point of like building for the Switch is that like the reason why Hogwarts Legacy like suffered in order to like get it to squeeze it on the Switch is because there's over 100 million Switches out there. If there was only 50 million Switches, I don't think they would have.
I mean, let's be real. Hogwarts Legacy did on the Switch was huge, and they probably I don't know, but I'd love to see the number of copies sold on the Switch. I know it was the number one selling game, right? But last year, how many of those were on the Switch?
Probably
a lot.
Yeah, at least 1 million. I mean, like maybe millions. I don't know.
I want to look that up now.
But that's the only reason why they put in the effort to put it on the Switch, is because there's so many Switches out there. So
let me see if we can.
That's what I get a feeling they're going to announce this after the holidays. It makes me kind of a little sick. I don't know if you can survive on like just third party 2D games or whatever.
Are you ready for your mind to be blown? I want to make sure I'm reading this right. How many copies did Hogwarts Legacy sell? This says... Oh, wait, that's total. Where's the Switch?
Yeah, Legacy was the highest selling game of 2024. Of 2023.
I can't find... The two games sold. It says 22 million sold last year. That's total, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the Switch numbers. That's something that might not be public.
The publishers don't often say them unless they're like, they think by saying them that they'll get sales. Like if they tell you 10 million people have bought this game. Yeah. So it kind of pushes people to be like, oh, I want to be part of the 10 million. But oftentimes they don't release the numbers.
Well, they've now sold 24 million to date. I don't know.
Like you'll see that they announce it like a month after the game comes out, they'll announce the numbers, and then they don't give updates for years, because you can't say, well, we sold 10 million in the first month and then we sold 1 million in the last 3 years. Like it doesn't.
Correct.
So they just don't give out those numbers. But
Yeah,
And then on top of that, we're getting a direct in June, which almost feels like a miracle. And
It
I don't
does.
know what's going to be in that direct aside from Luigi's Mansion 2 and probably at least maybe 2 Nintendo ports besides those.
I can tell you what's going to be there. We're getting Mario Baseball. Now, whether it's Sluggers or it's a new one, I don't know. But if it's Sluggers, I'm honestly okay with that. Sluggers was the GameCube one.
You mean like a port of
Oh, no.
Sluggers? Like
Was
not even a
Sluggers the
new one?
GameCube one? Or was Sluggers the other one?
I thought I
Mario
don't think
Baseball.
Sluggers. Mario Baseball was on GameCube.
No, there was a Wii one too that wasn't as good. The GameCube one might not have had a name.
It didn't have a name?
It might have just been Mario Baseball.
Yeah, well, that's a name.
Oh, Superstars. Sluggers was the Wii version of the Wii U one.
Oh,
Mario Superstar Baseball was the one on the GameCube that was excellent.
Okay.
That's the one I'll take that, or I'll take the new one. I think we get that. I do think we get that.
How freaking depressing would it be that we're getting a port of a baseball game? Like we can't even get a new one.
Maybe it'll be a new one.
Yeah, I mean I mean we got the new golf game and we got the new Mario tennis game.
Maybe it'll be new.
Is Speed Rush the last Camelot sports game, right?
Yeah, so what have they been working on?
Yeah, they're probably working on another
Mario Baseball.
Yeah. Exciting.
Right, that's the only. They're not going to do any others. They're not going to do hockey in the summer. They're not going to do football. They just won't. I think baseball is what the play is. They're talking about the Mario Baseball. We're going to get a Zelda port. Bottom line, probably Wind Waker. I don't think we get both. I really don't. I don't know why everyone keeps thinking there's going to be like, there's no way we're getting a pack of both, and they're going to sell for $60 Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. That's not happening. They're not selling those two Zelda games for $30 a piece.
I'm so tired of these $60 ports.
They're not doing that though. I'm telling you right now, they're going to sell them for $50 or $60 each. There's no way.
If it's a $60 game, you're going to get one.
Yeah.
But if they like re-release like OG Zelda and like something like that, they can't because they already have those on Nintendo Switch Online. Then you can do like a 3D All Stars type.
I think we get Wind Waker and it's $50 or $60. I don't think we get both. I really don't see it.
What about? Do you think like what they did with Link's Awakening that they would like maybe do that same toy-like treatment on original Zelda,
or like Link to the Past?
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know though.
Like, do you think that's like a series of like 2D redos, or it was just something unique for Link's Awakening? I don't know.
I don't know either.
The gimmick could be gone by that one, but I would love to see it. I actually still want to replay Link's Awakening, honestly.
I love that game.
All right, so we got a question from DatFast who says, what's the surprise game that will be announced in the June Direct, and when and what genre do you think the next new IP is we get from Nintendo? Do you think there's going to be a surprise game? I mean, like, when you said Zelda, I'm like, yeah, that just seems to be like...
That's not a surprise.
Probably a Zelda port. And do you think Mario Baseball is the surprise?
I think we do get Mario Baseball. I still don't know if that's a surprise. When did the last Xenoblade came out? July 2022. That's not happening. Could get a Xenoblade port though.
They could definitely port X.
Yeah, but wasn't X a lot of they had a lot of Wii U pad built into it? You'd have to change. I mean, not that
I still have never played it, but I mean, like that seems to be, the easier
match. I did like that one.
Yeah.
What else could there be? That's a surprise. That's not a ton of work. That's going to take away.
The irony here is like if it's a surprise, then there's no way that we can predict it, right?
True. That's true. I mean, I think Metroid Prime 4 is coming out on the Switch. So
Metroid Prime 4 coming out this year. I don't know if that would be a surprise. Because
not a surprise.
They said they've been developing it since like late 2017.
That has to come out on the Switch. There's no way they pivoted.
I could see them pivoting, but I could see it being on both consoles, and so they would wait until the new console comes out.
Let me ask you this. Are we thinking maybe what if it's a non-Nintendo game? Like what if is Nintendo Direct could still be a big first party or third party game? Like
they still have they do the partner showcase, but they still do third party games on the Direct.
That's what I'm saying. So what's a big PlayStation or Xbox game that could be brought over even if it's a couple year old. Like what's came out in the last 2 years? You know better than I do. That would be like,
Yeah, there have been rumors that there's more Xbox games coming. I don't know what would be coming that would be, I mean, because if they're porting a game over, then it's not exciting,
what
but it could
about
be like Call of
Diablo 4?
Duty. I would be shocked if that came over. It's
Well, did
possible.
you ever think 3 would though?
I didn't really think about it until
I
after
guess
3 came
okay.
out.
I'm just thinking there's got to be. I think we get something. I don't know. Again, I'm not that in the weeds of those games, but I think we get something
Yeah.
from in the last 2 years that somebody's been working on.
Yeah.
It's not Nintendo.
I can't think of anything that would be like a super surprise. I think we're both in the realm of we're going to get ports of things. I can't think of anything.
Any
Like
other
if a new
like
Donkey Kong game was announced, I would love to see a new Donkey Kong game, but I feel like they are
well,
saving some of their IP for the next
yes
console.
and no, right? You got to remember the Switch and the way they designed Mario, Donkey Kong games, stuff like they play and they look awesome on a Switch. Like it's not like you need a new console to play those, right? So like I'm trying to think what other Mario game franchises, like a Mario Party or Sports Mario, like that they could just pump out that yet we're not expecting that they haven't in a while.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about like Punch Out and like some of that stuff, but I
Like
mean,
that, but that's
another Mario
it's
Party
got to
would
be.
be
I know. I don't know.
cool.
Donkey Kong, I could kind of see. They haven't done any new ones, right?
I would be excited for Donkey Kong, but I do feel like they need to save some IP for
What if
Switch
they
2.
pumped out like a new Diddy Kong game? Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, they probably just port Diddy Kong Racing. I mean, Diddy Kong is not as like exciting as Donkey Kong, right? Just for the casual gamer, they're like, "Who the fuck is Diddy Kong?" You know, but Donkey
Sure.
Kong, they're like, "Yeah, Donkey Kong." You know, I'd love to see a Donkey Kong Country. I love Tropical Freeze, but yeah, we just got to re-release or Punch Out. Punch Out would be super
I think
exciting.
that's the simple answer. We need a Punch Out.
Yeah.
Who would be the new Mike Tyson? There wouldn't be anybody. It'd just be a fictional character.
Who's the jackhole Irish guy? That's like UFC.
Connor.
Connor. They should just put him in the game and just make him a total jerk, and he deletes your save file from time to time, and he's drunk, and like it's an M-rated game.
That'd be great.
Just go the exact opposite of.
I
mean, boxing's kind of out of vogue anyway.
You know what we're probably gonna see? Actually, no, it's too late. There's no stupid. I haven't played these games in probably 15 years, but there's no Sonic or Mario Olympic game this year.
I mean, like, it's so boring.
Not that I want it. I'm just trying to think what other franchise. But they would have already had to release it or show it by now. So the Olympics start next month.
Yeah, they start pretty soon.
Yeah, that's too late.
And maybe they're doing one for 2 years from now, but I'm so over it. The games are so uninspiring and bland. I don't know what it is. I
agree.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, moving on.
All right, let's move on.
Nintendo World Championships NES Edition was announced.
I was in Myrtle Beach during this, so
this is just the ultimate mayhem game for sure.
That's true.
It's basically like NES remix with time trials, and the whole game seems to be about doing all of these like the little things, just like NES remix is like they even showed it like in Metroid, go to the door and open it, like that sort of like mundane stuff. But it's about time trials and then sending your top scores online. Or, and this is really cool, you can play up to 8 people locally on Couch Up, which I really want to get my family involved in this. I think that would be like really fun to do. But this is just going to be the ultimate mayhem game. This could float mayhem for like 2 years.
It possibly could.
I mean, it's just so cool. And, we're all playing, like we're all older and we're all playing these retro games. It just looks super fun. I did not see that they are bringing Nintendo World Championships to this. Like, is there gonna be, I hope that there's like more to this game than what they've talked about, but I want there to be a mode where you play OG Nintendo World Championships.
That'd be cool.
It's like a high score thing. I think they did that on NES Remix, but I want to see it on Switch so that we can do a competition. That would be awesome. What was it? Mario 3, Mario 3 or Mario,
It was
Rad
Mario 3.
Racer, and Tetris.
Yep.
I think that's what it was.
So here's my take on all of this. I agree with you on the monthly mayhem and this and that, and the game looks fine. I have a hot take though on it, John. So it's $30 for the digital version. Then there's the collector's edition. Blah blah blah. That's irrelevant. That's fine.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. It's like, how many times do we have to buy these fucking games, right? Like, how is this just not a free NSO game? How is this not just advertising your NES Championship, whatever the hell you want to call it, and just say now available for free with an
Right.
NSO subscription? Like,
I think that would have been smarter.
I just feel like, again, it's just $30 to buy the same games that I've. Sure, there's time trials. It looks like there's a different background. I can change it to retro style. Great. It's just, man, I don't know. Am I gonna play it? Yes, I'm gonna play the shit out of it. But it's just, this is the shit that pisses me off.
I agree. The worst part is the list of games:
Yeah.
Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, Excite Bike, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Metroid, Super Mario's 1, 2, 3, and Lost Levels, Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2. Those are exactly the games that were on NES Remix.
You just solidified. I take back what I said. I probably will not play the shit out of this game. With that being said, I did pre-order the collector's edition.
Yes.
But it's like, I don't know. I just, like, in some of the examples that, and again, there's got to be more to this game that we don't know about. But some of the examples we showed, it's like, kill all the enemies on the screen for Zelda. And it's like, the guy did it in like 3.8 seconds. And I'm just like, that's the challenge? A 4-second challenge? Like, the Metroid one was like, go to the door, 30 seconds. It's just...
Why can't we get some different games? Why is it? I understand they're all Nintendo first party games. There's no licensing and all that.
Yeah.
But could we get something different? Like, remember, and like they used a lot of Dr. Mario in NES Remix. So it's like, oh, are you going to add that one? But can we get some like different games? You know, I understand you got to license them, but can you do it? Wouldn't it be cool to do Tecmo Bowl? Like drive the Broncos down the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cool.
Or hit this field goal within 5 seconds. Like,
it was about, like, I think about a year ago or so, I went downstairs because there was some scare about the Wii U, like you need to turn it on.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I went downstairs and I turned it on. It was connected. I have like a little nook in my basement with the Wii U connected. And I put on NES Remix and I started playing it. And the next thing I know, over the next 3 days, I was trying to like 100% NES Remix and I had a blast. And then I was actually going to play Xenoblade Chronicles X. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to play X. And I never did because it's just too long. But
yeah,
it's fun. But those are the same games. It's the exact same games.
It's just, this would have been a perfect last like push of the console to go buy NSO and maybe have it carry over the new console, your subscription. Like, it's just, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way to go buy this game for $30. You still need NSO anyway to probably connect online.
Yep.
But I don't know. It is what it is at this point. It's just not the game I think
they have some
needed.
like just give me some different games. It's actually less games than is in NES Remix because NES Remix has Wrecking Crew and like some other stuff. Just give me some different games. Do you think there's going to be an SNES edition, or do you think we're reading too much into the NES edition? Because NES Remix never had the SNES games. They never had an SNES Remix. Would be kind of cool if they did an SNES edition because all the games would be new.
Yeah, I mean, why even call it NES edition? I don't know. Just this whole thing rubs me odd. I don't like it.
I am excited for it. We're definitely going to do some mayhems around it. But if it is just these 15 games, I'll be a bit disappointed.
What's the date on this?
I think it comes out in July. I think July is a very busy month.
Okay.
What is it? July 18th. So we're not far away, a couple months. Okay. And there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out in July. In fact, that other indie game, Skim, comes out the same day, I think, too.
Gotcha.
$60 for the collector's edition. I totally bought that as well.
Shit I don't need.
Yeah. Did we want to talk about the next monthly mayhem?
We should. We don't have details, but we want to talk about it. We've been leaving you guys out to dry, and it will be the next monthly mayhem game. Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door. I have some ideas. I just don't want to commit to telling you them yet because I want to test them out on the new game. So let's say this, John. We will announce it via Discord this weekend. If we're feeling good, we can maybe do a 10-minute podcast. If we think it might not be needed. I think it might be pretty straightforward. But we have some ideas. Look for the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, let us know to join the Discord, and we'll announce everything there. Then there's going to be some options. So what you want to do, there's going to be different ways to play this mayhem. But we know a lot of people are going to be playing this game, so we wanted to give you guys opportunities. It'll be a little bit different than we have in the past, but it's going to be fun. And it's Paper Mario. Woohoo! Paper Mario!
Speaking of Paper Mario, Nintendo is not selling Paper Mario everywhere. This is really weird. We don't have a lot of details on this, but Walmart orders for like online, like for delivery, like versions of the game have been canceled. Amazon has canceled all of their pre-orders for the game.
Oh, they did too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, basically they want you to buy Paper Mario in the stores. Now, my first reaction when I heard this was there's no way this could be Nintendo, because what do they care if you buy the game online or not, right? What do they care? They're selling a game, they're getting money. It has to be a Walmart thing, because really, honestly, I don't know why stores don't do it more, but stores want you to come in and pick up your game, so on your way out, you'll buy some milk, you know? They don't want this. Stores do not want this online mentality, because when you buy online, you tend to just buy the thing you specifically need. I bought a light bulb from Amazon today. I didn't go, oh, should I shop for some other shit? But if I had to go to Target and get that light bulb, I'd probably walk out with Paper Mario, right?
Sure.
So, but like, apparently not. Apparently this is Nintendo doing it. And I don't understand what's going on. And one thing I will say before I hear your theory isn't this the first game that is coming out on Thursday? Or was that Princess Peach? Because we know they've switched to Thursday as a release date. You think this has something to do with the fact that it's Thursdays? What's going on?
I don't know. So I had this conversation a little bit with the other horseman, Mr. Bob Cousy himself and Hambone a little bit. And I don't have the answer, right? But, you know, we were talking about and this is where it started. I didn't know the Amazon thing. The Walmart website does blow, right? And that was what we kind of saying. Walmart.com, like it's just not a great website. And so at first I'm thinking maybe this was Nintendo saying like, hey, Walmart, you don't have the right standards of what we're looking for. This is me spitballing, right? Of how you sell our product, right? Now, Paper Mario to start is an odd one. It's not like it's Tears of the Kingdom or something where it's trying to sell out but at the same time, maybe this is something to say, Walmart, your pre-order system blows, right? We all know as gamers at Best Buy, when you try to buy the latest thing I can think of is the OLED. You try to buy the OLED, you go into that virtual queue type thing, and Best Buy probably does it the best, right? Better than anyone else.
When it works.
Maybe this is preparation to say, like, you need to get your shit together for these types of things in preparation for whenever they post a console for pre-sale. I don't know. This is just me spitballing, but I did not know about the Amazon thing. Amazon obviously does have a better system or better website than Walmart does, but maybe there's something else going on at Walmart that we don't know about, that they can get their games for discounted, whether it's that Walmart Plus or friggin' all I know, food stamps, who knows, right? And Nintendo doesn't want their games to be selling for less through some type of loophole, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like
they sell their I guess they sell their games wholesale to Walmart, so they make their money right then and there. If Walmart wants to sell it at a discount, that's their own loss.
Yes and no. It 100%, you're right. It is their loss. I'm not debating that. But I guess Nintendo has always been, even used old games, like, we hold our games to a standard, they hold their value. If there's, again, some type of coupon system or loophole on Walmart.com that's allowing people to get this game below the cost, that's not what Nintendo wants, period. Whether they're still making the same dollar value or not. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't.
I don't know the answer. This is all speculating. It's kind of a throw out there. I don't know,
I
John, to
don't.
be
Does
blunt.
Walmart sell them for cheaper, or are you talking about like Amazon would do that? Like sometimes they'll give you like a $10
Yeah.
gift card for Amazon if you buy a game, and Best Buy has its like
Best Buy has
2-for-1
their deals
things and
too.
all that.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have
I don't know.
I don't
It's
have the
weird.
answer.
I feel like all three of the console makers are just a little weird this year.
For all we know, Doug Bowser went into Walmart one day, had a bad experience, and said, "Fuck those guys. I'm fucking them over." Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it seems to be like each store is a little bit different. I think didn't Target do the same thing with their online? It seems like to be an online thing. Target is sold out. I'm looking at Mikey Burgett had posted something. Amazon canceled all pre-orders in March. Walmart canceled all pre-orders stating Nintendo won't let them sell the game online. But it's still at Best Buy and GameStop.
Maybe they accidentally made too many printed copies. That doesn't make sense either.
Something feels up because Nintendo's been doing this and they've never had this problem. So I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe something happened and they couldn't print them all, and they just figured they're not going to be able to fulfill the orders. So if you want it, good luck trying to get one in the store.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be a manufacturing thing. Who knows?
It's weird.
Anyways, move on. I don't know the fucking answer.
Tears of the Kingdom hit 1 year old. Last week we were going to be recording on the exact date that Tears of the Kingdom was a year old. You got any memories for this one? I freaking love Tears of the Kingdom, man.
You know, it's funny you said this. Like, it's sad, and I've talked about this in the past. I think I have more memories of Breath in the Wild than I do of Tears of the Kingdom. But I guess one memory was kind of the first time you jump down and you're looking for like almost like the, what do you call them? Like the corn mazes, the glyphs. What were they called?
The labyrinth?
Not the labyrinths. The
you mean like the
memories?
Yeah, yeah. I think they called them glyphs, right?
Glyphs, I think it was. Seeing those, and for whatever reason, I remember this one fucking quest that was early on in the game. Was it like toys or something that popped out of the little wagon? And you had to put them all back in the wagon in a time limit.
I can't remember, but maybe it sounds like a Tears of the Kingdom thing.
It was definitely Tears of the Kingdom. It was like the first quest I did. But no, I mean, yeah, I don't know. What about you?
I do remember Tears of the Kingdom was the last time I did a midnight launch. I wanted to play the game so freaking bad. And I remember being online trying to, I remember I went to GameStop early to do my pre-order that day. And I saw the special editions and I was like, I was going to try to buy one so I could cancel my other pre-order so I can get the game earlier. I remember waiting in line and getting it and just being so excited. One of the things I've been wanting to replay Tears of the Kingdom. I'm still trying to figure out if I just want to continue my save file or I want to start all over and enjoy it again. Mm-hmm. And I remember when, first of all, the Great Plateau portion of the game, the opening area, is so freaking good in Tears of the Kingdom. It's one of the best openings to a game that I can even think of because it's so colorful and beautiful. And the way they introduce like the Ultra Hand and all that is just magic. And I loved it. And then when you finally shoot down onto the world, I feel like you end up in that main ranch area, but how do you end up there? Like, do they make you jump down directly into the water? Like, didn't we all start in the same area kind of next to the Hyrule Castle or not? Am I like,
I think so.
I guess you don't have the paraglider. Maybe they just make you jump straight down.
Don't you get the paraglider and that's how you get off the Great Plateau?
No, I think you just dive down into the water.
No, I think you get the paraglider and you jump off.
No, there's no way it's the same as Breath of the Wild. There's no way.
Oh, I thought we were talking Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry.
I think you get the paraglider in the town after you've come back down to Hyrule. God, the game is so great, though. I really do want to play it again. Honestly, once I finish Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, I have nothing till July. I could literally play Tears of the Kingdom again.
You're not doing that.
I might. Dave the Diver announced Godzilla DLC is coming out on May 23rd. We knew about the DLC. We did not know the date. May 23rd is now 4 days away. Check this one out. It is a limited time download and will only be available until November 23rd.
Weird.
What the hell is happening in gaming?
I think this could be something to do with the Godzilla franchise and the weird ways that they have, personally.
Yeah.
I think this was Dave the Diver, King Kong. Maybe you wouldn't have this problem.
King Kong wouldn't last a second in the water. Ha! Suck it, King Kong. You think it's just like promotional, like they want people to like swarm to it?
I think it's promotional and some type of thing like Japanese owns Godzilla, right? They're weird with, I think, like owning in there. Well, I'm for real though. Who owns Godzilla?
Japanese.
The Japanese.
The Japanese own it.
I think it's like you can have the contract for 6 months and then that's it. Like I think there's just some type of weird contract.
That's really weird, though. I mean, it's super weird to me. I don't know. It might make sense in some way, but why not just make it available anytime somebody wants to buy it in the future?
You already developed it. You put money. Like, why not try to make more money after that if somebody wants it?
I know.
Like, what if somebody went to somebody's friend's house? Like, wow, you had Godzilla deal. I'm gonna go home and buy that. Oh, nope, sorry, you can't. Like, it's just a weird. I agree, very weird.
It's like Mario 3D All-Stars, where it's like limited time, and it's like because I think they wanted people to just buy it now.
Well, Mario 35, a little different to this online, but same concept. Why?
It's crazy.
You built the game, just friggin' keep it.
Just keep it around.
This is even worse, so it's not online.
I know, this is just a DLC to a kind of low-budget game. Not a low budget, but a lower budget, mid-range, AA game.
I agree. You're not seeing commercials for Dave the Diver.
Right, exactly. It's so weird. And some of these games are so good, but they never sell that well because they're not on a shelf, that sort of thing.
Agreed.
I don't know. Mobile games incoming.
Mobile games, John. A lot of these Nintendo games that we've been playing have been coming to mobile. We talked about Slay the Spire and how great it was on the phone. I think I've said multiple times how well it translated and how many hours I put into that sucker. Well,
who owns Slay the Spire? The Japanese?
Probably. Oh boy. Listen, I got nothing for you. There's been 3 games that I gave a go on my phone, iPhone, ISO. I can't guarantee if they're on Android. First, Wild Frost. We all remember Wild Frost, deck building game. Unique concept of how it plays, but a lot of fun. I gave this game another go, John. I think I already talked about this maybe a little bit. It's on there. I played it. I beat it once. I was playing it a lot, and then the next game came out, Loop Hero. Now, Wild Frost I had to buy. Loop Hero, I think, was free. Or there was a demo. I think there was a demo of Loop Hero. I tried the demo. Now, we played Loop Hero a while back on the Switch, and we couldn't get into it. God bless. Somebody just posted in Discord that they beat the game, and my mind was blown. I don't even think I got around the loop once. And I'm like, fuck this. Like, I am not invested in this. And it's on a phone. And you know how small it is with like the little pixels and shit to begin with? I don't know how it translated. I can't say. I gave it about 3 minutes of my time. But it's on the iPhone if you want to give it a go. The last one, which I've been playing, this is on Apple Arcade. So it's free if you have it. Dicey Dungeons Plus, John. We love Dicey Dungeons. This translated awesome. It comes with all the DLC. Remember there was the Halloween DLC, and I didn't realize there's 2 other ones. One of them introducing a new character as well, or new dice. So I have been playing this one quite a bit, and I think I'm gonna try to 100% it. I did the first Dice, the Warrior, and I beat
Oh,
all of his levels.
you got to go through so much of that stuff again.
It's just
Oh,
a great. You can. The thing that I like about it is you can do an entire run in
yeah.
30 minutes, probably.
Oh, yeah. But you have to do all the characters, and then
Yeah, but you do. It's a good morning game with the coffee or when you're pooping, and then you go from there. But yeah, I've
yeah.
been playing it. Dicey Dungeons is if you've never played Dicey Dungeons, it's a fantastic game. It really is. You don't have to do it all, but it's a fun concept, and I do like how each different dice plays completely different from one another.
Mhm.
So yeah, games are coming to mobile. They want to get more money.
Yeah, I remember playing Dicey Dungeon fairly recently, within the last 2 years, because they put out an update. I don't want to say DLC, but they put out an update,
Yep.
and I was like, I want to play that, and it was kind of painful to like get back into the groove of it,
Mm.
But I enjoyed it. I think there was like one new episode per. It was like one new episode per character,
Oh really?
and I did them. Yeah. I want to
Nice.
say that I 100%ed it, but I don't think I 100%ed it, but I couldn't tell you what I haven't 100%ed.
Huh.
But yeah, it's a good game. It's not the best roguelike, but it's really fun. And like I said, yeah, like you said, like you get into another character and they play really differently, and you might hate that character,
Yep.
the witch,
Yep.
but it's like playing a whole new game.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. That's it.
Sweet. All right. Is it time to talk about? I mean, I don't want to talk about, whatever. We kind of talked about the NSO, but I think it's time to let's get into some questions here.
Agreed.
All right. Darth Platypus. John, since you are also such a valued host of this show, and I don't want to leave you out, where would you want to build a golf course? So this is obviously, Darth Platypus heard my criticism on our last show.
You called
that
down.
he's
Called them
asking
out.
questions to you, and he asked me where I would want to build a golf course. And I have put many weeks into coming up with an answer.
No, you haven't. You forgot about this.
And I would like to build a golf course in I don't give a fuck a stand. That's where my golf course is going to go.
See, Darth, you try to do the nice thing, and this is the result. You should have just stayed with your original guess. You wouldn't ask me about Life is Strange, would you? No, you wouldn't. You know what?
I would. It would be entertaining. We might need a golf course in prison, actually.
Let's see what you did there.
Right. Good question, Platty. When do you vote? Oh, hold on. When do you vote the start of summer? What does that mean?
When does summer begin in your eyes?
Okay. When does the start of summer begin in my eyes? Do you have any plans to kick off the summer? I mean, summer begins when your kids finish school, right?
Yeah, I'd look at it as well as like when the pool opens. So my pool's already been opened. I open it in April, which is way too early. But I'm going to say like Memorial Day, which is this weekend coming up. Memorial Day is when it starts. That's when like cookout season starts. The nicer weather is almost guaranteed to be here. You'll have some hot days. You're in like yard work has begun. So I'm going with this weekend, Memorial Day, and I plan on kicking it off with 2 cookouts this weekend, and doing a lot of yard work this week. So that's when it starts.
Yeah, I can go with that. It happens to coincide with my kids finish school on Friday. This Friday.
Already?
Already. Yeah.
My
we
kids
start
have
earlier.
Like 5 or 6 weeks left.
Yeah. So
maybe not that many. 4.
Yeah. So they finish up Friday. They have a half day on Friday. This is going to be a real shitty summer, I'm going to say, because my 2 boys have gotten a lot more social. And my son this is his first summer where he has a license. And so they've had some friends come over. It can be a little loud at times. And I'm like really worried about the summer and just having it's nice when they go to school and I work from home and it's just nice and quiet. And
you're losing that nice and quiet, John.
I'm going to lose that a little bit. And get out of this house.
Fire pits in the backyard and...
We don't have any summer plans yet. I've been wanting to get a new barbecue because my barbecue is like a single, like a small mini barbecue. and it doesn't cook well. I have never been able to cook a burger the way I wanted to.
I kind of agree with that. Let me know if you find a good one.
Well, I think when you have a smaller barbecue, the heat builds up or something, and it cooks it too fast on the outside. So either my burgers get raw in the middle, or they cook too fast on the outside because there's just I've never been able to figure it out. But my last barbecue, I had a regular size one, and I was fine. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I might just try to get a whole new barbecue. And then we might go to Nintendo in California.
Oh,
We might do that. We haven't had plans. My bonus wasn't as big as it was last year, and we just bought a car, so I have a $800 car payment every month now, and that fucking sucks. I just registered my car. It cost $1,300 to register my car.
What?
Yeah, this is what they do. They lower your taxes, and then they just charge you a hell of a lot more for
You
everything
guys don't have
else.
to have your car inspected every 2 years, do you? That's a Rhode Island thing.
We do have inspections, but like on newer cars, we haven't done an inspection in years because we have newer cars. So
Yeah, but they're still mandatory every 2 years for us. Like,
oh, really? No matter what?
Well, you get pulled over if you don't have an inspection sticker. It's just another way the state makes money.
We just get like an exception. Like it's like you don't have to get, like you are automatically approved for your
Gotcha.
inspection. But yeah, like I had a car that I used to have to get like to go through that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Plans. Yeah, I'm actually going to Disney twice this summer.
That's crazy.
Well, I have the season pass. I did my money's worth.
I don't know. But you don't live in Florida or California.
Yeah, but flights are cheap down there.
All right.
Anywho.
Bob Cousy. If Nintendo releases a mini Wii console, do you think they'll call it the Wii? Wii Man. They have called all their stuff classic. So NES Classic, SNES Classic, and they haven't done anything, right? Remember we said it was going to be a Game Boy Classic and whatever. Can they call it a Wii Classic? Can a Wii be considered classic now? Or is classic a term that can only be used for an NES and an SNES?
I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. I like Wii.
The Wii.
The Wii.
0% chance it's going to be called the Wii.
But
I think Kuzi knows that.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. Ibicel, if you saw this posted in your kid's dorm on move-in day, how are you feeling about it? And so he posted this in the Discord, but he posted it here too. It is a little flyer, and it says, help yourself, free safer sex supplies, basically condoms.
I'd
free condoms. Your mom picked up a couple for me.
Lovely.
But when I saw this, I was like, that'd be great. Like,
it would be great. You know what's going to happen. Might as well be safe.
There has always been a safe sex debate that goes back decades, which is if you like, remember said like, do you teach your kids about safe sex or do you teach them about abstinence? Right. And like, I'm definitely on the safe sex bandwagon. Kids are going to have sex, right? People in general are going to have sex. And if you start like giving out condoms, you could argue and say, you're saying, hey, it's okay. But like, but like to do it like it's you're not going to stop them. Yeah. Like they know they watch movies, they talk to friends, like, you know, they know the risks. I just feel like I would be like super like, this is cool, this is great. I don't know, but it depends on your perspective.
Agreed.
I mean, I think when kids go to college, the first thing they're thinking about is like, I'm going to have some sex this semester.
They might be the first time they're living by themselves.
Right. And where are they going to get condoms? Like,
it's a lot of effort. If you don't have a car, it's not easy.
I grew up in a time, you might have too a little bit, but like I grew up in a time where the idea of like, you have to go to the store and you have to ask for condoms or like go to the checkout line and get condoms.
And they're embarrassed.
Yeah. Nowadays they have auto checkout you could do.
That's a good point. They didn't have that back then.
Yeah. Or you could buy them online. There's like, it's not even a worry. It's not even a worry anymore.
Did I ever tell you the time I was in high school and I went to the store, it was like a gas station store, to buy some condoms. And I get to the counter and the guy says, can I see your ID? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, you have to be 18 to buy condoms. I said, so you're telling me I can't have safe sex if I'm not 18? And he's like, I said, no.
I do not want to get in this conversation.
And I said, I'm buying these. Just sell them to me. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's not even a law, right? Like,
no. Why would I mean? If you're why no?
do you think it was just a
I
guy
think the
who
guy was
was
just an idiot.
like
Guy
the
was
guy,
clueless.
like he had a personal belief that like children shouldn't have sex, and
Maybe.
he's
I mean,
going to
I'm
make
not
this
buying
rule.
tobacco products. Like,
Right? There's no rule. That is crazy.
it was weird.
That's like he's not thinking it through.
He
Like you
wasn't.
are being
No.
responsible.
Yes.
Like it's
All
not
right,
like
fine.
you
I'll
go,
go and not use them.
I couldn't find a condom, so I guess we're not going to have sex now, Peach. You know, it's
Yeah.
like of course not. It's like,
Oh boy.
my goodness.
All right, let's move on.
Then Informant. I'm playing Ukulele and the Impossible Layer for real this time.
Probably beat it by now.
I
In
think
3
it was
weeks.
like faking it before. With the intentions of seeing it through to the end. Did you guys 100% that game? I don't remember why I stopped playing it, but something else must have distracted me, and I never went back until now.
I've never played the game, to be honest.
It's fucking fantastic game.
I would like this game.
You ask me this all the time. I don't even know what you like. You like fucking Survivor.
I'm playing another season, and I
You
can't
like
wait.
Pine and Survivor and janky ass Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know. Ukulele and the Impossible Layer. It's a great fun game. So yeah, you'd like this. It has that Breath of the Wild thing where you can actually go into the Impossible Layer right away and beat the game if you wanted to. But the problem is you can't because it's too fucking hard. So you play the game, and as you pass each level, you gain like one energy like
hit point
slice, yeah, to go into the Impossible Layer.
Gotcha.
So you can do 10 of them and get a little bit of health, or you can just 100% the game and have the most health going in.
Is it still hard at that point?
It's still freaking hard. I can't remember if there were checkpoints or you just eventually get so good at the early parts of the layer.
That or the final level in Mario Wonder?
Oh, Impossible Layer is harder.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The final level in Mario took a while.
But it wasn't, you're right. It's just you had
you have to literally play the whole game just to be able to do the Impossible Layer, and then you'll still spend hours doing it.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds
miserable. Why would I want to play that?
It's a great platforming game, and it has an overworld, and there's secrets in the overworld, and then every level has like an alternate version of itself that you can play too. It's really one of the best games. I have it ranked really high, I think, on my list. On my top 200 list. It's actually ranked really high. Let me find it real quick. Who is it?
I'll have to look
and
into
I never actually played the first Ukulele. So I have it number 43 on the Switch. The first Ukulele game actually got kind of panned by reviews. I'm sure it's okay, but but I played the Impossible Layer. It was really good. Yeah, I did 100% it, Inform it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. With retro being slow as molasses lately, could you see Nintendo handing the next Donkey Kong Country game off to Playtonic? Playtonic is who did Ukulele. Or perhaps the K's developers. Who are the developers of K's and the Wild Masks? Pixel Hive. What else has Pixel Hive done? Pixel Hive has done K's and the Wild Masks. I don't know if I would want to give that to anybody, but I think Playtonic has a really good feel for how to do a Donkey Kong Country game. K's is kind of Donkey Kong Country too, I guess. I guess I just like Ukulele and the Impossible Layer a lot more, so I think either one of them would be good, but I would trust Playtonic a lot more than the K's and the Wild Mask developers. Maybe in the future. I got to see what they do next after K's. K's wasn't like the most glamorous looking game or anything either, but it did have really good gameplay. You haven't played either of those games.
I have not.
You're just not in the know, man. You're not cool.
I just can't answer this question. Sorry. Sorry, Andy.
Speaking of Drew's mom, what's something cool your mom did for you that you will never forget? Not including your dad. Ha!
Well, I'll give you this one here. I used to work at a golf course. That was like my first job. I worked there for like 10 years up until college. And I remember when I was graduating college, I ordered golf clubs through the golf course I worked with the pro. Like my first set of golf clubs. Like I always had like hand me down. So this was like my first ever like big boy set of golf clubs.
Mhm.
And when I went to go pick them up, my boss, the pro called me. He's like, "Hey Andy, your clubs came in. They're all set. Why don't you come grab them whenever you want?" So I go grab them, and I was like, "All right, how much were they?" I knew he was gonna get me like a little bit of a discount. He's like, "They're all set." I was like, "What do you mean they're all set?" He's like, "Your mom bought them for you. It was, happy graduation." And I was like,
No.
"Whoa!" It was gonna be like $1,000, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, holy shit! Like, so that's a memory I'll never forget.
Did it feel like they weren't yours though because she paid for them, or you didn't care?
No, I mean, I didn't. They were still. I mean, I went and I did them like fitted with the pro, like so they
Right,
were
right.
my clubs. It's
Okay.
just. I mean, I was ready to pay for them. It was just more of a graduation gift, but I think it was the way it happened. Like, like when you don't expect it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Um, the thing that I always remember, I mean, my mom was like incredible because I didn't really appreciate it when I was a kid, but she did such a good job of hiding adulthood from, especially me. I was the youngest. I mean, I'm like 8 years younger than my next oldest sibling.
oops.
And like if times were tough or money was tight or something like that, or I wanted something, she would always like just do it.
Yeah,
And when I got older, I was like, why did you do all that stuff? Why did you let me make second dinner at 11 o'clock at night? Why did you like let me do some of the things that I did? But she just like always like kept me insulated. Whereas like I don't even do that with my kids.
yeah,
I'll talk openly about, oh, we can't afford to be buying that right now, blah, 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 blah. But the thing that I'll always remember about my mom was my birthday was coming up, and I had saved up a wad of cash because I wanted to buy a TurboGrafx 16. I was contrarian at the time, and I saved it up, and we went to the store, and I had this wad of cash with me, and we get to the desk. I think it was Toys R Us, and it was definitely Toys R Us. And she's like, "You know what? Let me buy you that for your birthday. I'll maybe buy you that for your birthday because your birthday's coming up, but I don't know what to get you." And I was like, okay. So it was like, on one hand, it was cool, like, oh, cool, I don't have to spend my money on it. On the other hand, it was like, I'm gonna have to wait a month,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I ended up buying like a remote control car, a really cool RC car.
Hmm.
As my birthday was getting close, my mom, I was like saying, like, I'm gonna get the TurboGrafx 16, and she's like, well, it was more expensive than I thought. And I was like so mad because I was like, I had the money, and then you said you were going to buy it. So I bought this RC car, which I probably shouldn't have bought, but I
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
bunch of money. And I was like, oh man. And then the day of my birthday, I was convinced I was not getting a TurboGrafx 16. And
yeah.
then there on the table was a TurboGrafx 16.
Nice.
Pretty slick. So she made it a surprise, even though she told me
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
going to buy it. But I was really mad for a while there. Really, really mad.
Hmm.
Good question. Hoots. Is
Hoots.
Drew a Scotty Scheffler fan?
Oh.
Do we have to regurgitate this story?
I should tell. Let me tell the quick version. So, Scotty Scheffler, if you don't know, we talked about him actually a month ago. Remember, he's the number one golfer in the world. He's
Like 27?
super good golfer. The problem with, as far as is he a fan? Am I a fan of him? I don't hate him. It's like vanilla ice cream. He's just there. He's fine. It's okay. It's good. It's not the best. That's how I feel about Scotty Scheffler. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I think he's a little boring. But as far as his golf game goes, there's no denying it. He's fantastic. So with that being said, this guy is a guy that kind of stays off social media. He's not a drama guy. He's like a normal, down-to-earth guy. Well, he's just an everyday guy.
And he's like
Um,
27, right?
27. He just had his first kid a week and a half ago. Yep, married, right? So this past weekend, or this weekend right now, there was the PGA Championship, which is one of the 4 golf majors, if you don't know. And it was Saturday. Saturday did this happen? Or Friday? Friday. It happened Friday. So Friday morning, he has a tee time at like 8:30 in the morning. He's driving to the course. It's like 5:30 in the morning. It's dark out still. As he approaches the clubhouse, about 3/4 of the mile away from the clubhouse, there's sirens and fire trucks and cop cars everywhere, and no idea what happened. Later to find out, fast forward a second, what happened was a pedestrian that was walked into the golf course to watch the event actually got struck by a car and died, unfortunately. So it was like, I don't want to say a crime scene, but it was a scene that was kind of
There was like an
monitored.
investigation
It was
going
an
on. Yeah.
investigation scene, right? I mean, I don't know where it was, right? So Strider Scheffler's, here he is driving up. Why these guys drive themselves blows my mind, but driving, slowing down, approaching the scene, and it's like, the cop stops him. He rolls down his window. He's like, "Hey, I'm just a golfer. I'm trying to get to the golf course. I'm Strider Scheffler, blah, blah, blah." And we don't know the full story. I think the window is open. The cop's leaning in the window talking to him. And I think the cop was kind of an asshole. He's like, "I don't give a shit who you are."
Wait. Well, hold on. I have not heard any of this. Are you editorializing what probably happened, or is this?
No, I'm
like,
95% sure this is what happened. Oh yeah, this is what happened.
What does that
So-
mean? 95% sure this happened.
I mean, there was a lot of ESPN coverage on it. There was
Okay.
ESPN tweets. Like, I'm just telling the story that ESPN told.
Okay.
Window was open. The cop's trying to lead in the car, and this part is where the gray area part is where, I'm Strider Scheffler. I don't give a shit who you are. This is a crime scene. Blah blah blah. Supposedly there was another cop up front, like waving him on, and this guy was still talking to him like, "You can't go this way." So I think there was a misunderstanding. So Strider Scheffler tried to drive. Again, I don't know what happened. Supposedly this cop got dragged down on the ground because he was holding onto the window and like ripped his pants, right? And hurt his hip. I mean, he didn't run him over. So
you literally air quoted and hurt his hip. He went to
hurt
the
his
ER.
hip. And so now Strider Scheffler pulls over and the guy's like, "Get out of the car," puts him in handcuffs, arrests him, puts him in jail, right? Guy gets the orange jumpsuit treatment, gets put in the cell. Now, this is in the press conference after he plays later. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to see through the TV and I saw that they got delayed. The tea times got delayed. So I was doing my stretching in the cell." Like, this is the guy that's drama-free, #1 golfer in the world. Needless to say, they ended up moving the tea times, which I found fishy. He ended up getting out of
Not
jail.
sure. Yeah.
The owner of the golf course went to jail and picked him up himself. Then he gets a police escort back to the golf course, and he goes out to shoot like 5 under par. Like, it was unbelievable story. I mean, it's literally like saying like Michael Jordan was going to the championship NBA basketball game and got arrested on the way there. Like, that's the comparison of who this was and what the tournament was for people that know other sports.
Right. The time, because it was like the second day of the tournament. It wasn't even the beginning of it. It was in the middle
of it. 7-game
of it.
series, NBA championship. Michael Jordan is going to game 3 on his way to the stadium, and he gets pulled over and gets arrested. That's what happened.
Well, if Michael Jordan dragged a security guard
Of
under
course.
his car.
And backed up on him. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it wasn't that bad if they let him go, but
Well, didn't he just bail out? I don't think they let him go. Didn't he just bail out?
I don't know. He did. I don't know.
I mean, he got processed. He got a mug shot. You know,
he did like 5 criminal like charges. Assault to an officer, not obeying traffic.
They're either going to drop the charges. There's going to be some kind of criminal case. I don't know. Like, maybe Scotty
community
Scheffler will,
service or some shit.
Front the guy some money and say, "Sorry, I dragged you under my car."
Mm-hmm.
It is crazy though that like you said, like, why are you driving yourself? Whatever. I think that's kind of maybe down to earth, but also weird. I'm sure Tiger Woods doesn't drive himself, but
that's how Tiger Woods got in that car accident. So who knows?
The thing that got my goat was his lawyer said that he was told to drive around, and so he was just doing what he was told. And it's like, well, yeah, but then things change, and there's somebody you're dragging under your car, right? Like,
I don't. That's
like,
and so
it may be
part,
that he was told, but like,
so that was what ESPN reported. What I told you,
Mhm.
and also by reading the record. But when he got asked the exact question, he answered like in the cell and all. But he said, "Well, what physically happened?" He's like, "That's not the story to tell. I'm not talking about that today." So like he wouldn't
tell you, don't say anything.
Because then they could use it against you. You can talk about stretching in the cell and getting handcuffed, but don't say what actually physically happened.
Yeah, because
I
you could
agree.
you could say it wrong and they use that against you. Like
Exactly. Yeah, twist your
you're not
words.
supposed to talk about it. Yeah.
Yep. So, anywho,
All right. So what was the question? Oh yeah, so you're not a Scheffler fan?
I'm a fan. I'm a
Okay.
fan. I like the guy. I'm rooting for him, but I'm not. He is what he is.
Right. Um, he kind of like he's 27, so like he's not one of those like players that grew up watching Tiger Woods, but I assume like his dad was really into Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then he probably saw when he was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, because like Tiger hasn't been like he's been like culturally impactful in the last 10 years, but like not golf wise for
Correct.
10 years. So like, so he would have been like a teenager and Tiger Woods is already kind of like downhill slope, but he probably did when he was much younger. I assume this is one of those cases where the dad was probably the bigger Tiger Woods fan.
Correct.
Because like there's so many golfers now that just grew up watching Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
But this guy does skew younger.
So listen to this stat really quick, and I'll end at this. So where's this stat? I'm trying to figure it out. So Scotty Scheffler. So the big thing with golf is how long you've been the number one golfer in the world, right?
Mm.
Scotty Scheffler has been the number one golfer in the world. I don't know how old this is. This was done in, I don't know. Anyways, here's the stat that I have in front of me. He's been world number one for 60 weeks, right? So a little over a year, right? We're like, wow, that's pretty good. He's right. Do you know Tiger Woods obviously is the number one? How long do you think Tiger Woods has been the number one golfer? How many weeks consecutively? So like this many weeks in a row.
I'm gonna guess like 5 years.
683 weeks.
My
which
God.
is what? That's over 10 years. They said so if Scotty Scheffler wanted to surpass that, he'd have to stay at number one all the way to like 2035. He'd be like 39 years old or something stupid.
Which doesn't seem like it's going to happen because
it's not going to happen.
Time frame when Tiger was playing, he kind of like revived the sport.
Absolutely.
Right? And even if he lost a tournament, it was like, yeah, he's still the best.
Yeah.
But Scheffler, there's a lot of good golfers that if they go on a little bit of a run, could elevate to number one.
Sure. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Are you watching this basketball game? This is just fucking.
Denver was winning by like 15 or 20 points.
I mean, I live in Denver. And the Nuggets are the defending champions, but they were at halftime. I think they were up 15
or 18. Yeah.
And with a few minutes left, they are down 10. And this all has happened in Denver.
I'm rooting for Denver. I like the Nuggets.
If you have never lived in Denver or visited Denver, the air is a problem for people who visit, especially athletes. And that's why the Broncos always had a big advantage. Yeah. And Denver, like generally, like the Avalanche and the Nuggets have a big advantage when it gets late in the game because they just start sucking wind. And the Timberwolves have outscored the Nuggets by 25 in the second half. And they're going to eliminate the Nuggets, it looks like.
Yeah, this game's over. 10 points now.
And we actually had dreams of having a double parade, Avalanche and Nuggets this year. And they might be completely dashed in the span of 24 hours.
Only Boston can do that, but the Bruins just lost, so that's not happening.
The Bruins lost, and the Celtics never win.
Well,
Celtics
this is the year. Win. Anyways,
never happens. Okay, what do we got? Okay, back to golf. I'm gonna take a nap after this. Also, this is from Hoots. What's the most money you've spent on green fees? Oh my God, I can't even make it through the paragraph. My dad and I opted not to play this weekend in Branson when we discovered it would cost $1,000+ for the two of us to play. We would also have had to leave my mom and wife with my insane children too, for the record. Boots, I want to know more about your insane children.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So, Branson, Missouri, I have to assume he's talking about Payne Valley Golf Course, which, Sean, is designed by the one and only Tiger Woods. So this is one of the first Tiger Woods designed golf courses. It's public, and it probably costs close to $500 a person. To answer your question, this would have been like a bucket list place to play, Hoots, but I get it. That is a lot of money to spend on an activity, essentially, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, the memories is going to be awesome. The problem with spending so much money on green fees is you could also play like complete shit. And then it's like, which part is it fun versus frustrating versus I just spent $500 to shoot my worst score ever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's a weird mixture. It's like going to the casino and saying, man, I had a lot of fun losing $500 tonight. Like, no, you didn't.
But I'm not sure, but you know that you could lose money when you go gambling.
Yeah,
but it does. Like if you win, my brother would come home and go, "I won $500," But if he lost
Sure.
money, he doesn't
But
even talk about it.
But it's the same concept where if you went to this course and you shot one of your best rounds in your life, now you have like this big story to tell. Like, man, I played Tiger Woods, Pain Valley. I shot like a 75. Man, I had the time I couldn't miss. But like, oh yeah, I played Pain Valley. Oh really? What'd you shoot? 115. It's you know what I'm saying? Like you have bad memories with it now. So I will say this: I have not paid this much money. The most I ever paid was like $250 to play somewhere, and that was even I didn't want to do, but I did it. The problem is there's so many nice golf courses nowadays that you can play for a lot cheaper. You know, I just went to Myrtle Beach. I played some amazing golf courses, and they're all like less than $100 a round. Unfortunately, just like anything in life, you're paying for the brand where you're paying for Tiger Woods' name on this course. I mean, again, this is me completely assuming he's talking about Pain Valley, but I have to assume it. What else in Branson?
For that, I mean, for that cost, probably.
Yeah. So it's once in a lifetime, but at the same time, you're paying for the name. I guarantee you to find nicer courses, probably in that area. Maybe not as nice, but a really nice course for, quarter of the price. So I have a hard time paying that much money for courses, regardless of the name. Just, the other one is like they had PGA events there. It's now you're playing a professional golf course. It's the same thing. They want to charge you an arm and a leg. So that's my take on it. You're paying for the name. I wouldn't pay the price either. I don't blame you.
Did you know that Tiger Woods was the number one golfer for 600 weeks?
83 weeks. Don't take back that year.
I got a quick question. When they say Tiger Woods dissolved the course, I grew up and hearing like Jack Nicklaus designed all these courses.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way they actually designed the courses.
Oh yeah, they do. They sit down with like.
What do they do with Photoshop? What do they do?
Well, they don't physically do it, but they'll sit down with people and lay it out. Yeah.
Do they draw like they take a Sharpie and they're like, all right, the green goes here, put some trees here and the sand here. All right, that's one. Let's do two.
They do.
How they're not building the course.
They're not building it, but they're backing the design of it. Yeah.
Is it really that impactful that you're on a course that, like, I don't know, went through Tiger Woods' mind?
I don't disagree with that assessment. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't give if I enjoy the course and the light. I mean, you do find that people design courses, they have their own style, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might be all bunkers, or this guy loves all water, this guy wants fast greens, so he picks different kinds of grass. It is true, but you could find like different style and really like it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Are there sadistic like golf courses out there, like almost like miniature golf style, like just insane? Like the green is completely surrounded by like sand, some crazy.
There's tons of them. Yeah, they have island greens, what they call them too, where it's just a green and then all water around it.
So you can't even walk to the green.
No,
you better get a hole in one, buddy. You're never gonna get
there. Bridge on the bat.
Oh, I see. Nice. All right. I want to say good question, but it was actually kind of boring.
This is a great question.
I'm kidding. Beer Cerveza takes us home. Who exactly is Sadie? For the longest time, I thought she wasn't real. Fuck you, Beer. In fact, there were a few episodes where she didn't sound like her usual sexy self and sounded more robotic. I just assumed she was AI generated. However, around the 200th episode, you guys said she was a real voice actress. So what's the backstory of the hot British voice that wishes us good night?
John, walk us through the history and the story of Sadie.
So Sadie is, I think it was like season 2 or 3. Drew and I decided we wanted to have like a host for the show, but obviously we can't just, pay somebody to like come on the podcast, right? So Sadie is a professional voice actress, or what do you call it? Like a voiceover contractor. And we basically sent her scripts and she reads them out. She does a great job. We use a service called Fiverr, and you can send them a script and you send them like direction, and they produce it and then they send it back to you. and you can have them redo some things or whatever. But she's always been really great. Usually just first try, she nails it. A couple times there's been mistakes and we just redo it. Then she's gotten a lot of work and her price went up. And Drew, who is probably like my dad in terms of frugality, was like, I'm not paying $200 for Sadie. So we had to, the outro had gotten so outdated that I had to just drop it. And we had her record some, like, a whole bunch of like intros, but they were getting repeated too. So I started taking that out. So I actually switched to an AI voice. So if you think she sounded robotic, you weren't hearing Sadie. You were hearing a like a Google voice or something like that. And I was actually having a lot of fun because it wasn't text to speech, it was AI. And so you could give this AI bot a script and they would read it differently depending on how many times you hit the button. And I just had a blast. It was so funny. So we had an AI voice for a while, and then eventually it was so bad and it wasn't working out. And it was like, we need to do Sadie, but now we just limit Sadie to reading the outro. She doesn't do intros. We don't do segments anymore. She just does the outros. But yeah, around the 200th episode, I guess, or for this new season, we've had Sadie doing the outro. And so we don't pay as much because we don't have her read as much. But yeah, so she's doing the outro. She's from England and she's awesome. And
we don't know what she looks like, so we don't know if she's hot.
We know exactly what she looks like. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're right. We do. You're right. We have seen a picture of her.
Oh, we've seen video of her. Like I have video.
Well, you can go to when you go to the website, you can see the previews of her. Correct.
Yeah, she's like a redhead British girl or whatever. And remember, so when Game Pass News was around on the Dad's Family, I remember Sean Abbott had his wife do like the intro and outro, and she has a British voice. Yeah. So it was hilarious. It was like, she's stealing from Sadie, but it's like, it's because he actually lives there.
Yeah, good point.
I thought it was pretty hilarious.
Should have just hired his wife. A lot cheaper.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, you should have an American do it. So we've always had Sadie. I think there's been times we've talked about having a different voice, but
every time we look, we go back to Sadie.
Yeah, because we did a couple seasons ago, we changed to the more metal intro theme than what we had before. And so it was a little bit more like the previous song we had was more chill.
Yeah.
But we went for a little more harder edge. And then we were thinking about getting a voice that was harder edge, like someone doing like a metal voice on the radio. Yeah. Welcome to the, Dad's After Dark show. But in the end, I feel like Sadie's just Sadie.
The weird part is we talked about her and used her. That's a real name. Like, we're friends with her. She knew how much we'd be like, guys, that's Trapey.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if she would like that we refer to her as Sadie on the show.
I agree with that.
I kind of keep that.
It's all between us.
I keep that on the down low. We've talked about inviting her on the show. I don't think she would care to do a 2-hour video game show, but my biggest fear is that she would like hear how we're using the voice and be like, don't call me Sadie. I'm just a voiceover actor.
Yeah.
Like, please don't. It's way too personal. But no, I'm so happy we have her back. And, every season we probably have her redo an outro. Things change. But we've had last year, a little inside baseball here, sausage making. We had her do the outro last year, and this was part of the problem. And I probably hit the thumbs up button a little too fast. And then I realized, like, afterwards, a few days later, that there was a point when she said the Nintendo Dad's Family of Podcast. I think she said the Nintendo Dad's Family. She said something and it was wrong. And so I actually interspersed the previous season's sentence with the new outro, but she sounded a little bit different. She was smoking that day. No, I don't know. And it always bugged me. So if you listen to our episodes from like early last year, you'll hear in the outro, the first sentence actually sounds different from the rest because it just came out. It came out weird, and I had already approved it and I didn't want to bother with it. So it's really nice this year that she's redoing it and it's nice and clean and polished. So
Nice.
Whew, man, the Nuggets are eliminated. That's just nuts.
That's crazy.
Crazy. That's show.
Crazy. Alrighty. That's it. Good stuff. That's a long one. Did a lot of stuff to get out of our.
That's a long one. That's what she said. Yeah, that was 3 weeks of content. Next week we won't be as long. Take it away, Drew, with your final comment. Go.
Scotty Scheffler. Free Shotty. Free Scotty. Free him. Peace.
Free Shotty.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available. And if you're using Apple or Spotify, please do consider leaving us a 5-star review. Pretty please? Find us on Threads, Instagram and TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark, or you can leave us a voicemail. Check the episode notes for details. Join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in the Dads After Dark show channels. That's where we chat and participate in monthly Mayhem contests, game tournaments and other fun activities. Get access by joining the Nintendo Dads Patreon or by subscribing to their Twitch channel. Check out our Substack at dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com for articles, links to social media, and our merch store. Fancy a t-shirt, perhaps? A big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's theme music. Check out his YouTube channel to hear other awesome Nintendo cover tunes. That's all for now. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.
What is going on, everyone? We are back after 3 weeks off, and it is episode 204, recorded on Sunday, May 19th, 2024. John, buddy, how you doing? What's new? What's the good word? You know what? I fucked that whole intro up. Let me just rerun that back. Can we run that tape back? It's been a while. let's